Good morning, guys. We're going to be doing another comments on comments video. I think this is number 6. So I have coffee. I'm at home, so it's going to be nice and quiet and you'll be able to hear me. It's too early to go to the mall. First of all, I'm too tired and it's not open yet. It's about 7:30. My cleaner is here because it's Friday, which makes it feel weird doing one of these videos, but never mind, it needs to be done. So there's going to be some comments on my new Fallout 76 videos as well. There's a few things that I do want to say about this and a couple of things that I want to say about Bethesda as well, but I'm just going to go through them all. I was going to keep it game specific, but I'm just going to go through everything. So let's get started. Right, this is someone complaining that videos like this one here, which says how to change the data on your Xbox to get early access to content, is the reason that Turn 10 Studios have decided to only give players cash for the seasonal events. I think that's absolute nonsense. There is no way that Turn 10 are saying, hey, a really tiny number of people are getting stuff early, let's not give any cars away anymore, let's just give cash. You know what I think's happening? I think that they've seen that most of the Forza Horizon community has been complaining for quite some time about the seasonal events, saying that the cars are shit. We've already got them, you can get them in wheel spins, they're not special, the stuff they're giving us isn't good. Or they're giving us clothes or horns that people don't like. So I think they saw that backlash and they thought, well, what will everybody like? And they thought, well, cash, because whatever you want, you can get it with cash. So I kind of think that what they're trying to do is to give something that they think people will want and they've just got it wrong. That's what I think's going on. I think this is just nonsense. There's no way that me uploading a video telling people how to change the date on their Xbox has made Turn 10 Studios go, right, let's punish everybody by just giving them cash. I think it's exactly the opposite. I think they think that people probably will want cash, and there's a lot of people saying for weeks now, the stuff they give us is crap, it's a rubbish car I've already got, I can get in a spin, it's a horn I'm never going to use, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to thumbs this down, so I just completely disagree with it. I was going to write a comment, and then I thought, no, I'm going to make a video instead and do a comments on comments, it's easier. I think you've got it completely backwards. Moving on. This is Fallout 76, it's talking about different clothes. I did say I thought it might be a glitch that when you put certain clothes on, all your armor disappears. But then I saw when the game was loading in one of the quick tips things that it says that. It says that you can wear different clothes. Why not go in style and this kind of thing. So yeah, you are correct. You can just wear different clothes. They don't give you any benefits. The glasses in Fallout 76 don't give you improved perception or anything like that, or charisma. Very different to Fallout 4 with all of those things. The clothes are just clothes. They just look different. You're welcome. Somebody saying that the glitches help them. Okay, what we've got here, we're going to have loads of these. Now, I can't really thumbs this up because what I've said here is for people to put their race, their blueprints on the Blueprint Forum weekly video. So I'll be doing one of these every single week, and I've said for my subscribers, if you would, to check these out, see what you think. If you like them, thumbs them up. If you don't like them or they're broken, thumbs them down. It's like a voting system, so we can see which one wins, and then I'll feature that on my channel. So if I thumbs this up, it gives it an unfair advantage because I'm probably not going to find them all and thumbs all of them up. But if I race a few of them, I'll have a look at them, and if I race them and like them, I'll thumbs them up, and if I race them and they're broken, I'll thumbs them down. So I'll contribute with that as well. So yeah, this video here, the Blueprint Forum week 1, that is the place where you should leave your blueprints, and there will be a Blueprint Forum week 2 coming soon. So another one here from the same person. He's put a couple up. So yeah, I do invite people to put lots and lots up. Trash video, trash comment. What's the point of that? Right, what this video does is it's an exploit that I found in Fallout 76 that enables you to get stuff that you don't have the plans for. Now, it only really enables you to change the cosmetic look of something that you have that is similar. But I found this by building a stove that I weren't supposed to build, and it let me build it, and then I realised why it let me build it, so I made a video about it, and that's what the video tells you. So I'm guessing this person was thinking it was going to be something much more exciting, and it wasn't, so they just said trash video. But what a shit comment. I mean, the people, when they leave just comments like this, I don't mind if someone leaves something constructive or say why they think it's a trash video, but they didn't. So, you know, these are the kind of people that I just want to ban from leaving comments because it's just worthless. Someone here complaining that I went off topic. From 18 seconds to 1 minute 46, I went off topic and talked about something that wasn't related to the video. So this was my reply, and my regular subscribers will realise that I very often go off topic and tell stories. I haven't gone off topic yet. On my last comments on comments, the first comment sent me off topic, talking about theme parks for about 10 minutes. But I don't mind that. I don't at all. I think it's a little bit of the charm of my channel. I know some people won't like it, but there are dozens and dozens of channels out there for those people. There's loads of people that edit their videos. You know, they're really precise with their facts. They tell you only what they say they're going to tell you and nothing else. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, there's loads of that. If you're looking for someone who's having a bit of a chat with you, it's relaxed, and maybe I might go off topic or get distracted, just like one of your mates sitting in your living room chatting to you about a game, and then they go, oh, I'll tell you what I wanted to tell you, and they just go off on a tangent for a while. That's what happens when people just sit and chat. And I like my videos, my comments on comments videos, feeling a bit more like, let's sit and have a chat. And hey, I found an exploit in Fallout 76. Right, wait till you hear about this. Oh, something else in Fallout 76. So that's kind of the way that people communicate in real life. So that's what people do. Right, let's have a look here. This is an old video, beating driver tars very easily. Why don't you do 1,000,000 laps? Because that would be ridiculous. It will give you something to do this weekend. I always have things to do at the weekend. Myself, I can see this is going to be a negative comment already. Can you tell by the way I'm reading it? Myself, I don't see any enjoyment in exploiting a weakness in a game for 50 laps just for some credits. Yeah, but that's you. We're not all the same. Some people are different. Some people enjoy doing this stuff. Some people want to make money in the game, but they're not very good. They want to buy the castles, but they can't do it. So they have to find these exploits and then take advantage of them so that they can get a castle because they're expensive. It takes the fun out of playing the game, in my opinion. I like how you're saying in your opinion, because you are acknowledging that other people have a different opinion to you. And a lot of people have a different opinion to you. I actually like doing this stuff. I like finding them. This particular track is really funny when you do this. And it's enjoyable. I enjoyed doing it. It was 50 laps. But I still really enjoyed it. And I liked every time I went round, I saw that they'd become more ridiculously stuck. And it was funny. I actually enjoyed doing that more than I enjoyed doing like 3 genuine laps of the Goliath. So there you go. I mean, each to their own. You are right, they should fix the AI, definitely. The AI is a mess. Same thing happens on Blizzard Mounting. The AI just cannot drive it, and they always get stuck at the bottleneck. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing as well on Bernese Alps, on Forza Motorsport from 5 up to 7. They don't get stuck, but they just can't drive it. They slow down too much. So I mean, what I used to do really, really often is set that game to 50 laps and just do 50 laps round that in the IndyCar. And by the time I've got to the end, I'd be lapping them. But you still need to race well. I mean, it's not a guaranteed win, whereas this one is ridiculous. They cannot even complete it. So it's a bit of difference there. You must work hard to do the videos and the races, etc. Top marks for your dedication. Oh, actually, it was... I don't. I do apologise that I said that this was going to be a negative comment, because there's a few things in here that I quite liked. You disagree with me, but you keep saying in your opinion, and that's nice, whereas other people just give you a load of abuse because I happen to have a different opinion to them. So I apologise for reading this out in a negative way. But I don't work that hard. This video actually came from someone else's suggestion. Someone else said about this. I have obviously credited them in the video and mentioned them, but it's an idea that is useful to some people. I thought that's pretty cool, so someone told me about it. I tried it. I thought it was quite funny. I did it about 3 times and then I made a video on it. So I don't really work that hard. There's not much editing going on or anything like that. And if I wasn't enjoying this, I wouldn't make the videos, to be honest with you. I mean, I've showed in one of my previous videos about the income that I get from YouTube, and it's just insane that that comes from just playing games. I think it feels like free money. It's ridiculous. And if I'm not enjoying something, I'm not going to make videos on it. It's kind of one of the reasons I don't really edit. Right, this person really pissed me off. I found an exploit in Fallout 76 and I made a video on it, but I've only just started playing Fallout 76. But I did find this exploit myself and I was kind of chuffed that I'd found it. So I made a video about that, and this person said, the only thing worse than copying someone else's exploit is doing it like 2 weeks late. This has been discovered since day one. I mean, I didn't have Fallout 76 in day one, so I couldn't have discovered it then. When I discovered it, I kind of backtracked. I realised why it happened, and then I made a video on it. So I made a video within an hour of discovering it. And my reply, I didn't copy anybody, I found it myself, right? I did genuinely find this myself. Now, some things I haven't found myself, but I have made videos on them. Now, examples are the wheel spin VIP house glitch. I didn't find that myself. Someone said, why don't you do it? I was like, what is it? And then I looked on YouTube, I found someone else who had done it. I tried to copy what they'd done. It didn't work for me. I tweaked it a bit, and then I made a video saying, hey, this guy, and put a link to his channel, has found a way of exploiting the VIP house, but it didn't work for me, so I've tweaked it a bit, and now this is my version. I most certainly didn't try and say, hey, I found, you know, an exploit and it's all my own idea, but in this situation that was my own idea. But yeah, other people have found it too. I found it by accident, having only played the game for a couple of hours, so I imagine that dozens of people have also found this exploit. But if I find something that I think is cool or funny, or it might help people, or it's an exploit, I'm going to make a video on it. What I'm not going to do is go over to YouTube, search for that same exploit I've just found, and if someone else has made a video on it too, then scrap my video. That's never going to happen. I don't care if someone else has found it already. I'm not copying them. We just both found the same thing. So I replied saying something to that effect, and this person said, yeah, cool story, bro. Which, I mean, basically is saying you're lying. So I tell you what, I'm seriously tempted to ban this person from putting comments, right? I don't care if other people find stuff first. And also, I'm not watching other people's exploit videos so I can copy them. It's just not happening. Now, if you know Fallout, then you'll know that a very, very common exploit in Fallout 4 was the dog meat duplication glitch, or getting the cryogen gun from the beginning of the game when you're not supposed to get it, just by sending dog meat to get it. I knew about these exploits because I saw them on other people's videos, but I never made my own videos on them. I didn't discover them. Now, when the dog meat glitch was around, it's quite difficult to do. But the same concept works in other ways. So I tried loads of ways to get that same concept to work. I tried putting things into boxes and all sorts of stuff. Then I found out that you can do it with the contraptions on the conveyor belt. So I made a video on that because it's something I discovered. Then I realised that other people have also discovered it. Before or after me, I don't know. But there's loads of videos on it. But then I also discovered that you could put the conveyors in a loop. I don't think anyone else has done that. But if I discover it, I put a video on it. If someone else discovers it and then I see it and I think it's cool, I'll make a video on it and draw people's attention to their video. It's just nonsense. Really is nonsense. This is a really stupid video. Yes, it is. Right, I like that they put the two little faces there. It's the video where the two CVs fall over, which is really funny. Great directions. What was that for? How to get the cheapest wheel spin. Okay, that's a car that gives you a very cheap wheel spin in the game. Threading the needle. So threading the needle is a pain in the arse. Now, a lot of people did say if you go into Horizon solo mode, there's a lot more traffic and you can get threading the needle quite easily by just going up and down the motorway. So if you want to do that, do that. I didn't know that, so that was pretty cool that people said so. But if you don't, then just drive through cars in a car park. So another tip, if the cars in the car park there's not enough of them, or there's none that are close together, try going into Horizon solo and you'll probably get more. Right, what have we got here? So I decided I was going to start over with Fallout 76 because a lot of the story in the game and the lore and all that stuff is actually written down in the terminals. So you have to read it, which normally I ignore all that because I just don't like sitting and reading stuff. I'd rather play a game. So I did say I'm going to start again and, you know, embrace all that stuff. But I've tried and it's so hard. There's so much of it. Like yesterday, I got to the the lighthouse, which is just like a big landmark in the game. And inside the lighthouse there was a terminal, and I hacked the terminal, and then it just told me a load of history of the lighthouse, why they built it, these two colleges that were arguing with each other, and then it became like a matter of pride to build this thing, and then they consulted with other people who were experts in lighthouses to make sure they got it right. It talks about what you can see from the lighthouse in different directions, right? All of that stuff, I sat and read it, and it took me bloody ages, because I read quite slowly, and it didn't really add anything to the game, but it kind of made being at the lighthouse a little bit more enjoyable than, hey, there's just a lighthouse here in the middle of the land, nowhere near any sea. So yeah, I'm reading some of them, but it makes it really slow going. Now in Fallout 76, you have to eat and drink, you become hungry and thirsty and stuff like that. So all that stuff's going down while you're reading these terminals. They should pause all of that while you're reading the story if they're going to force you to read the story. Now I did see someone else's video where they were bitching about Fallout 76, saying it's multiplayer, but the way they've delivered the story to you means that it's not really... it doesn't... If you're playing with your friends and one of the group wants to sit there reading every single page of a terminal, that's pretty boring while you're waiting for them, so it doesn't really work. Also, the other way the story is delivered is through the holotapes, where you've got to listen to them. So if you're doing that, but your friends are in your group and they're talking, you can't hear the holotape. And also they want to go off and kill stuff, and then you've got stuff attacking you. It's all distracting. It's kind of like the way they're delivering the story isn't... It doesn't really work with the type of game they've tried to make. They should have rethink it. Now, that's not my idea. That comes straight from someone else's video. But I thought it was a really valid point. Now, something else as well on Fallout 76. Well, thank you very much. Loving the content. Something else on Fallout 76, which is unbelievable, right? Oh, it says here there's a couple of updates. Yeah, I did see there was updates. And I saw a couple of things that they're planning to change, which look really cool. So I'm quite happy with the changes that are coming. But I kind of want to boycott Bethesda and never buy another one of their games again, and almost try and encourage other people to do the same. And the reason for this, I mean, there are some problems with Fallout 76. They've released it early, they promised a lot of stuff that it isn't, and they're basically trying to turn it into a bit of a cash cow by going off the back of the name Fallout, because it's a popular franchise, which I think is really out of order on their fans. But they've done one thing that I think is absolutely unacceptable. They did like a limited edition where it had like a helmet and a bag and some other bits and bobs, and the bag shown in the picture was like a canvas bag. It was a pretty cool bag that people might want to use. It was a usable item. I mean, the helmet you're not going to use. You're just going to use it, you know, in your house as an ornament, and that's it. And maybe put it on every once in a while when you're drunk with your friends. But the bag was like a nice bag that you'd use to go to the gym with and stuff. Now, the canvas bag that they advertised, the package is $200. But what they actually sent to people was this really, really cheap, shitty looking nylon bag that looked nothing like what they'd promised people, which is really out of order. And I saw this guy's video where he was talking about this, and he said people had complained about the bag, and the replies that they'd got from Bethesda, on one occasion Bethesda said, we ran out of materials, so we couldn't make it. On another one, they were saying it turned out that the materials were too expensive, so we couldn't do the run in canvas. I mean, running out of materials? It's made of canvas. That's not like a rare material. You know, just buy more canvas. And it's only a limited edition run as well. It's not like everyone's getting these. There's only a certain number of them. So let's say there's a couple of thousand. I have no idea how many there are, but just buy more canvas. What's the problem? Another situation, they said, the bag in the advertisement was a prototype, and then we realised that it was too expensive to make it like that, so we've made this alternative instead. And then they had the audacity in that comment to say, and we're so proud of this, and we think it's the best, you know, like a collector's edition pack that we've ever done. On another occasion, they said, we know it's not the same. I'm only paraphrasing, so I know I'm going to get this wrong, but they basically said something along the lines of, we know it's not what we said it was going to be, and we're not going to do anything about it. So it's kind of like a bit of a fuck you to the fans, which to me was so out of order, it's ridiculous. Then what they did is they said, we realise there's a problem. I mean, there was a huge backlash on this. So they then said, we know there is a problem, as a solution, we're going to give you some, I can't remember what it's called, but some in-game money. So contact us, give us proof of purchase that you purchased the collector's edition, and then we'll give you some money to spend in the game. Now, the money that they're giving you to spend in the game, you can buy that amount of money for $5. So you spent $200 on this collector's edition of something and you didn't get what you asked for. And to correct it, they're going to give you $5 worth of in-game money, which gives you so many credits that you can buy stuff for your character. But the stuff you buy for your character is ridiculously expensive. Like, you want to buy some paint just for your armor, and you're paying like the equivalent of $20 in in-game money. Like, the in-game money shop is so expensive, it's crazy. So they're giving you some of the currency to spend on their game that you don't want anyway, on a game that is broken, to try and correct that they have missold a product to you. And the product that they sold, on their refund policy, it says you can't have your money back if you've opened it. So your package arrives in a cardboard box. There's no way you know that the bag is nylon before you open it. So, I mean, I really thought that was so out of order when I found out about this. And it made me want to boycott Bethesda games in future completely. It almost made me want to start some sort of protest against them. It's so out of order to shit on your fans in that way. Absolutely shocking, really shocking. So I kind of hope that some people get fired. The correct people as well, the ones that are making the proper decisions, that are at the top, not the people that are just being, doing what they're told to do, or, the people that are saying, yeah, it's broken, but let's get it out. Yeah, it's not the same, but let's get it out. The fans won't care, or we don't care about the fans. I mean, these people need to lose their jobs. They really do. It's just not right. It so isn't right. And it's the guy's video, I can't remember his name, but he is a fanboy of Fallout. And he was kind of devastated that they have ruined something that he loves. So yeah, I think what they've done is just so terrible for the fans. But having said all of that, I'm enjoying Fallout 76. I like it. There's some of the things in Fallout 76 that aren't in Fallout 4 that I'm enjoying. It looks nice. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a lot to do compared to Fallout 4, certainly not. And a lot of the charm in Fallout 4 is not there, and the personality of the human NPCs obviously isn't there. But I'm still enjoying it. I still feel like I'm getting my money's worth. And they've got, I mean, as this guy says here, they are releasing patches. And those patches are, they're going to improve the game. They're going to help to remove some of the problems that the game has. So it is going to get better. But they really should have said, hey guys, this is early access, it isn't finished yet, there's going to be some problems. You can get in now if you want for free, or for like $20 or something, and we'll be releasing the game officially a little bit later when it's ready. I mean, look at Red Dead Redemption. It's just mind-blowingly good. Everything about that game is good. There are a couple of glitches, but there's such a few number of glitches in that game. It's just really well done. But it was held back a long time, like over a year from its original publish date, simply because they felt it wasn't ready. Now, to me, what Rockstar have done, if they have secured themselves as a company where you can confidently buy whatever they do in the future, because you know that whatever they do, they've got their stamp of credibility on it, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is mind-blowingly good. Whereas Bethesda, it's like there are people really, people that were really looking forward to games that they're working on, whereas now they're kind of like, a little bit unsure if they're even going to buy them. I don't think I will buy another Bethesda game until a long way after its release. I'm certainly never ever going to pre-order another Bethesda game. That is never going to happen. I'm never going to buy a collector's edition, but I never would have done anyway, so that doesn't change anything at all. But because of what they've done with Fallout 76, especially with that bag, because they proper screwed people over with that, I will never ever pre-order a Bethesda game. I will only buy a future Bethesda game after it's been released, and I have watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and it's proven itself to be worthy of however much I'm going to spend on it. I mean, I did hold back on this one as well, but when it went cheap on Black Friday, I bought it. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because I am really enjoying it, to be honest. One of my favourite things about Fallout 76 is building stuff. I loved building stuff more than actually playing the game. And they've added a couple of features to the building system in Fallout 76 that make it better. The blueprint thing is good. It's just, yeah, I just like it. And, I mean, since I found that glitch the other day, even though obviously other people have found it too, it enables me to build my base and have different variations of the cosmetic look of things, even though I've not unlocked them yet, which I think is really good for me, because I like spending time building a base. So when I get back on Fallout 76, I haven't progressed through the game much at all, but I'm going to spend a huge amount of time really building a base. Now, the awesome thing about this is you can construct like a building and then create that building as a blueprint. And then when you go somewhere else, you can just slap it down already made. So I'm going to spend a lot of time making something that I love with quite a small footprint, and then making that as a blueprint so I can put it in lots of different places. Like, I'm not going to have my entire base just as one blueprint, because when I move to somewhere else, there probably won't be enough room to put it down. But I will have individual buildings of blueprints, and then kind of like build my little town when I get to new places. They have said that in a future update, they're going to enable you to like bulldoze some of the stuff out of the way when you build a base, so that's going to be good. And I don't know yet whether they're going to increase the limit of the amount of stuff you can build in your base, but I really, really hope so. So there are a couple of mods that I used on Fallout 4 that enabled you to do stuff like that, like you know, removing the limit to how many things you can build in your base, which I always use that mod because I always built massive bases. But I don't think that they would allow something like that, because obviously it's a multiplayer game and it's going to be slowing down a server that's already struggling. So anyway, I think that's long enough on this comment. But yeah, Bethesda have done a few things that I think are so out of order. If you're not aware of the situation with the bag, then just search for Bethesda Canvas bag and watch a few of those videos, because I mean, regardless of anything that's going on with Fallout 76, whether you like it or you don't, putting all that aside, what they've done with this canvas bag is just outrageous. It's disgusting. And what the guy said on his video is this is the kind of thing you might expect from a Kickstarter project that has failed, from a startup company that has no ethics. It's not what you expect from a AAA gaming company that is one of the leading producers of you know, AAA titles, selling games for top price. It's not what you expect from them. I mean, the situation with the bag, there are companies that produce products that actually take a loss producing that product just to increase, you know, their perceived value to customers. That happens. There's companies that make cars at a loss. There are companies that do this simply because it projects value. Now, them saying, oh, the canvas was too expensive, or, oh, we ran out of canvas, is just idiotic, and from my opinion, it's lies. Now, that company must be seriously, seriously struggling much more than anyone thinks that they are in order for them to be doing these things, because they are committing absolute, you know, commercial suicide. It's like the backlash of this is going to be phenomenal. It's disgusting. But I hope that some people get fired, they get replaced by real dedicated people. I mean, I said from the beginning, what I really wish they'd done in Fallout 76 is got some people from the modding community and put them into the development team at Bethesda. I really wish they'd done that. I mean, if they'd done that, Fallout 76 would be a much better game. It really would. The menu system would be better, the game would be better, it'd just be better. It's like if they'd have just taken a handful of people from the modding community and said, hey guys, do you want to come and work on the team? That would have made such a huge difference. I don't think they'll ever do that, but I really, really, really wish that they did and hope that they do. Right, what we got here? I tried it yesterday. I tried it yesterday to see if I could get the DLC cards early, which I can't. What I noticed today, however, is that it reset the Forza Fun weekly challenge, so I was able to grab another 200 Forza Fun points today by completing again. That's interesting. So yeah, changing the date lets you do the Forza Fun challenge again, and you can get more Forza Fun points. So if you don't have enough, if you're not VIP and you don't have enough of these points to be able to buy what you want from the Forza Fun shop, then look at this, do this. So that comes from Fallen UK, regular subscriber. Have you joined our club? If you have, I'll look for you on Xbox, and if you have, I'll promote you to whatever I can promote you to. And a few other people as well, Miserable Old Git, yourself, Spitfire Buzz, some of the regulars. If you are on the club, I'll promote you to whatever status I can. I know that obviously many of you will have already joined other Forza Horizon clubs, so for that reason obviously you can't join the one that I've created, so that's not a problem. Obviously you can just be in one club, but I'll have a look. I'll see who's in there. I saw there's about 30 people. Only one person commented, had posted a couple of things, but they'd posted a video and a picture, and the picture was the little Peel P50 being chased by a police car, which really made me laugh. I thought it was pretty awesome, so I left a little comment of just me laughing. But yeah, I thought that was quite awesome. So if you want to take some pictures in game and post them to the club, then please do so. So I am having a little look in there. So yeah, do it. What we got here? Tip to keep your stash limit down. Right, I do this already, scrapping all my junk and stuff. I'll tell you the other thing that I do though, right? I mean, I'm always going back to my base, and you can teleport to your base for free, right? I mean, I'm just putting stuff in normal boxes, and I don't really understand why other people are not doing that. I'm just putting boxes in my base in places that are quite hidden, and I'm just filling them up with stuff that I want to keep, but I'm not going to need to use very often. If I get a weapon that I think, oh, this might be good later, I plonk it in there. So I'm just putting stuff in normal boxes, and I know the stash box has, you know, a limit to it, but it also has the benefit of enabling you to access that from wherever there's a stash box, or even if someone else has built a stash box, you can pop into theirs as well. So that's kind of, I mean, that's pretty good that it enables you to do this, but obviously it's only got the limit of 400. So yeah, stuff that I want to keep, I just put in other boxes that I leave around my base in places that I hope other people won't find them. And so far nobody has, so nobody's come and stole my stuff from my boxes, but yeah, I don't see why other people are not doing that. And then you essentially don't have a limit, because you can do that as often as you like. When you're doing stuff like that, it kind of makes a little bit of sense to properly hide them. Now, I used to do this in Conan Exiles as well. In Conan Exiles, I'd build a chest under my floor or hidden in a wall or something like that, and then put something over the top of it, like a piece of wall, and then every time I come to my base, if I wanted to get anything out of there or put anything in, I'd have to actually demolish the wall and rebuild it to get access to that chest. Now in Conan Exiles, that's expensive to do because you cannot you know, remove a wall and just put it back. You can't store it. You've got to actually, you know, demolish it and then build a new one. Whereas in Fallout, you can just move a piece of wall, so it's very easy for you to hide something somewhere in a place in your base where nobody's going to bother looking, and then go and get it later. But I think with Fallout 76, people just don't go rummaging around in your base anyway. It just doesn't really happen. I mean, sometimes people use some of your crafting stations and things like that, but they don't go looking around your stuff. If you've got a box hidden somewhere, they don't go looking for it like they did in Conan, so you had to be a little bit crafty about it. Right, how do you get the Ford Capri? Right, the Ford Capri was given out to people prior to Forza Horizon being released. So some people who were YouTubers and stuff like that, bloggers or whatever, they got Forza Horizon early and they got access to the Forza Edition Capri. That is the only way so far that anyone has been able to get it, which I think is a bit out of order really, because that's only a very exclusive little bunch of people, and it's very unfair on the rest of the people that play the game. So I 100% think that they will allow us to have this car at some point in the future. It might be a reward for something, you know, it might just start turning up on the wheel spins, who knows. I definitely think that it will become available, but as far as I'm aware, there is no way to get it yet, unless someone that got one before the game came out happens to auction theirs, and that's very unlikely to happen. I'll tell you, the car that I want is the Crown Victoria. I want that. I really want it. I don't want to buy it off anyone, I just want to get it. As far as I'm aware, you only get it on the wheel spins, but yeah, that's the car I want. Useless for online. Yes, it is. I did say this in the video. On some games, it might work online, Because obviously what Forza does is as soon as you go online and your Xbox changes the date, Forza knows that happens and it changes the season back again. So for Forza it is useless for online, but for other games that don't check, it might work. I haven't really tried it on any other games, but I don't really play any games where this would be applicable, where moving forward would help me. I play quite a lot of games, but I mean Forza, every week there is something new. So there is a reason to kind of cheat and look forward, you know, to see what that new thing is, or to actually get that new thing. But yeah, of course, it doesn't work for online because the console then changes the date back. But it does work for offline if you want to pop into the new season. For me, it's not so much getting the stuff early, it was just having a look at what it is. And I think where this is going to be particularly useful to people is if you know you're going to be away from your console. So if you know that if you're going on holiday, for instance, you might have a little look at what's coming in the next seasonal events, and if you see something, oh man, I really wanted that, then when you come back off holiday, you might, you know, backtrack your time a little bit to get it, or even before you go away, which would be much more sensible, you know, get it early, because you're not going to be able to get it when you're not there. So I kind of looked at it a little bit like that, but I'm not bothered about having stuff really early. But though that said, if I put my clock forward and I got to next season and the reward was the Forza Edition Capri, I would definitely get it, and I would definitely make a video and I'd put it on YouTube saying, this is how you get the Capri. I'd say it's coming in next season. If you want to wait till next season, you'll get it then. If you want to get it early, this is how you get it early. So I would definitely make a video on that. Right, this is again on the changing the date. Mine says I've completed it. Yeah, and mine did as well, but someone else said what the idea is behind that. It's... if you've already completed an event, I'm not sure. I'll probably bump into the comment in a moment, but I did read a comment where someone said something about if you've bumped into, if you've done the event already, it's going to say completed because you're essentially doing the same event. They're just using it as a seasonal prize. So that's what's going on there. It's not a bug or anything, that's just what happens. Also, you said that things need to be on unbeatable. For some of them, they do. Normally, the one that's co-op has to be unbeatable, and the others normally have to be expert. That's what I've noticed, but they change it around. So, I mean, there were the one that was last week, which you had to do in the hypercars. That was an unbeatable one. I couldn't do it. I think it was unbeatable anyway. To get the high-vis patrol outfit, I tried it. I couldn't do it. So it might not have been unbeatable. Might have just been expert, but I couldn't do it. But yeah, some of them are unbeatable, but it's usually the co-op ones. Does this have any lasting effect on the Xbox? No, it does not. What about going back? Can you access... Oh dear. Can you access cards or rewards that you've missed? I don't know, but it's worth trying. I think Spitfire Bus said that you can. I'm not sure, because that's where the idea came from. But yeah, I'm not sure. This is the comment, look. The exhibition is the story mode event that you already did, because the season event is on the same track. So if you did that track in the story mode, it's going to mark the exhibition as complete. Exhibition just basically means the story mode event. So yeah, this is the comment I was talking about. It's if you've already done it, it's going to say it's been done. Here we go. So someone who's left the blueprint that's already had some feedback. So great track. The gravel serpentine over the hills you used is one of my favourite sections to drive in the game. So maybe you want to check this out. Have a look at this video, the Blueprint Forum weekly video. I'm just going to open it up on a new tab and have a quick look at some of the comments that are on it already. So let's have a little look at some of these. So I've just got to the bit that says, as I'm racing, I'm going to tell you a story. So cue the quick pause as I settle in to listen. I got through a few stories on there. Oh my god, that thing that I used to do where we jumped into that skip. How stupid can you be? I tell you, when I was... Alright, okay, Simon, you've made me go on a tangent. I'm going to tell a story. When I was young, about like 20, from the ages of about 18 to about 20, well, to about 40. No, but actually most of my life, but particularly from the ages to about 18 to about 26, I seemed to believe that I was completely invincible and I could do anything. Absolutely anything. I don't know why, but I used to do the most stupid stuff. I used to climb up tall buildings a lot and try and jump between them and all that stupid stuff. I mean, now I see people doing that on YouTube, like the parkour guys, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane, these are idiots. And then I think, actually, I used to do this, and not as ridiculous as they do on skyscrapers, but yeah, I used to do that kind of stuff. It's amazing that I didn't kill myself. But one of the things that I used to do, actually, that I haven't shared with you guys yet, which I've just thought about, is when I first started driving, for at least a year or two of driving, I drove like an absolute arse. And a lot of people used to refuse to come in the car with me because of how ridiculous I used to drive. So to give you an example, if I was driving down a country lane, which there's a lot of in England, so I used to do that quite a lot. I lived in Nuneaton, and there was, where is it? In Appleby Magna, which is on the way to Burton up the A444. There was a new McDonald's being built in Appleby Magna, and I worked at the McDonald's that was in Nuneaton. So I used to go to that new McDonald's to help them get started. Before it opened, we went there and we did a lot of cleaning and stuff in preparation. And then when it did open, a lot of the staff from my McDonald's went over to that one and they kind of helped train people up and all that kind of stuff. So I was the person that used to drive people from Nuneaton to Appleby Magna down the A444, which is, it's just a country lane. And so there's me and like 4 people in the car. And the way I used to drive is, if I came across another car in my way, I would immediately overtake it, no matter what. If I was on a blind corner, it didn't matter. I would just immediately overtake. And the logic in my mind was, we haven't seen any other cars coming this way for a long time. The probability of one coming this way while I'm overtaking this car as we go around this blind bend is so small that I'm going to do it. So every single time I got to the back of a car, I just immediately overtook, unless there was someone on the other side at that moment. So yeah, I could have had an head-on collision very easily. And I know that is ridiculously irresponsible. It's incredibly stupid to do, and I was a complete idiot for doing it. I completely understand that. But at the time, I just felt somehow invincible. So yeah, it was putting people's lives at risk, all the people in my car for one, and also obviously anyone that could have been in another car driving on that road at the time. So I have crashed my car a few times, but never from doing this. But yeah, I used to drive like that. There was a guy called Martin who I worked with at the time, who started to completely refuse to get into the car. So he just would not get in the car while I was driving. And then much later, several years later, my friend Rich, he used to drive us to Derby to go to a skate park, and he used to do similar driving to what I used to do, but he used to be really stoned while he was driving. So I used to refuse to get in the car with him because of the way he was driving, and I'd completely forgot that I used to do the same. Now, when we was driving to Derby skate park one day, and there was quite a few of us in the car. You know, let me think. Quite a few people that I've previously mentioned, actually, like myself, my friend Owen, Rich, my mate Jimmy. There was a few of us in the car, and we go into Derby skate park, and Rich is driving, and we get to some. I mean, when I say he was stoned, he was ridiculously stoned. He used to smoke so much, it was ridiculous. And we pull up some traffic lights in Derby, and we're all sat there looking at the traffic lights, waiting for them to change, and they changed to green. And Rich doesn't drive. Like, I was in the back, Owen was in the front seat, and I was like, Rich, it's green. And he didn't do anything. And he looked at him, and he'd fell asleep. He'd actually fallen asleep from just being too stoned at the steering wheel while sitting at some traffic lights. I'm like, I don't want to be in this car with this guy. But, I mean, he used to have, like, a big glass bong in his car all the time. And his car was parked out the back of Domino's Pizza when I worked there. This is much later, after McDonald's days. This is Domino's days, and the police had come to raid his car, and I was working on shift. I was the manager, and Rich was one of my staff working, and the police were searching all his car, and they took off the back seat of his car this bong. this glass bong. And they put it onto his bonnet as they were taking stuff out of his car. And they goes, what's this? Obviously they knew what it was, but they said to Rich, what's this? And Rich says, oh, that's a penis enlarger. It's just so funny. But I mean, he was screwed. I mean, they kind of had him in a bit of a mess. But I don't know what ended up happening because of this. I was working, I was nothing to do with it. But it was so funny. And it was so fortunate that I just happened to go out the back of the shop when that had happened. So yeah, there was kind of like, it was almost like, we've got you banged to rights, son. Or what do you think this is? And then straight away, Rich just went, oh, it's a penis enlarger. It was just this big glass bong. Oh, it was so funny. But the other thing that I used to do really often in my car that was bang out of order is in the Nuneaton. At the end of the shift at McDonald's, so this is going back to when I was at McDonald's when I drove like an absolute arse, I used to give people a lift home at the end of the night when the shift was finished. And there was a guy called AD that I used to give a lift home. He lived, if you know Nuneaton, he lived up in Hartsell. And to drive to Hartsell, you go up Bucks Hill and through Camp Hill that way. Now, I didn't really know that area very well. So when I got to the top of Bucks Hill, at the top of that road is a crossroads. And I needed to go straight across into Hartsell. But that crosses quite a busy road which leads to Camp Hill. So this is going to mean nothing to almost everybody. But for the couple of people that know Nuneaton, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we get to the top of Bucks Hill and we need to cross that crossroads. So we're on kind of the road that needs to give way, and also the road we're crossing is quite a busy road. I never ever stopped at that crossing, and as we were going up Bucks Hill, I just used to go full speed to the top of Bucks Hill and just go straight across, which is idiotic because the road that you're crossing there is a busier one, but it's in the middle of the night. I'm doing this at about 2 in the morning. I never saw any traffic. I didn't know the area at the time. And I just thought, there's never any cars here, and just went straight across. Now, the next, as you carry on down that road, Victoria something, I think it's called, the next crossroads that you get to, I also need to go straight on at. And it's the same situation. I'm crossing a slightly busier road, nowhere near as busy as previously, but I have to give way. But I also knew that the road directly opposite, it's kind of got a bit of a bump. And if you hit it fast, you can jump your car. So I used to go down that Victoria, I think it's Victoria Road, Victoria Lane, something like that. I used to go down there as quick as I could in my old Metro because I wanted to do the jump. There was a few places in the Nuneaton where you could jump your car. There's one going up Coventry Road towards Bedworth over the Wharf Bridge. You can jump there. So whenever I drove in that area, I'd go, as fast as I could to try and get as big jump as I could over the thing. I mean, I honestly used to drive like an absolute complete idiot. When I was around about, I didn't pass my driving test till I was 18, but from 18 to probably about 24, 5 or 6, I did think I was invincible. And for the first couple of years of me driving, so up until about the age of 20, I did drive really, really dangerously and really badly. And when I look back on it now, it's amazing I didn't kill myself or somebody else. And it was really, really out of order because I was putting other people's lives at risk that were driving sensibly. So I know it was wrong. So please don't give me a pile of abuse in the comments on this video saying, what were you doing? You're an idiot. You could have killed somebody, some innocent, bystander or someone else in a car with a head-on collision. Yeah, I know all those things. And I know it was really, really out of order. So let's have a quick scroll down this. I saw this one, look. This guy's actually opened with a nice little story. So people like it. So yeah, have a look through this video's comments. And thank you. How long was that? I'm probably going to bump into that in a minute. Race some of these races. Some of them are already getting thumbs up, which is good. And if you like them, say you like them. Give the person some feedback. So there's quite a few already in there, and I'll be doing another one of these once a week. Let's get back. So where were we? Right, we're on here. So yeah, I'm not going to mention these. Well, I did that already. Right, so another one here. Oh, this is someone who did my blueprint. I tell you what, that blueprint was really nice. I've raced it quite a few times and really enjoyed it. When on the video of me racing it, it's terrible because I've got my TV turned down, I don't change gear properly, and I'm talking to you guys. So you know what I'm like. But I did race it outside of recording a video, and it's so enjoyable having a track that has the danger zone jump in it. So yeah, I really strongly recommend that if you're making blueprints, think about those kind of things. So like, think, how can I incorporate something interesting into my track that is a little bit different? And those danger zone jumps are definitely a real nice addition to a track. I mean, especially one that loops, so you're going over it several times, and they help you to win because the driver tars don't do them quite as successfully as they could, but they still do a pretty good job if you're not penalising them. I just raced the Leap of Faith for the 3rd time. I finished 2nd on Unbeatable. It's a fun race, great job. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It's the Leap of Faith. I really do enjoy it. Right, awesome hidden base location. It's not a secret anymore, jackass. This is an old video. What I did on Conan Exiles is there are a couple of places where I make very hidden bases, and I kind of make dummy bases to draw people away from them as well, and I really like that. And this guy is saying it's, I mean, I don't know whether it's a bit tongue-in-cheek that he's saying this, but they are hidden because no one knows what server I'm on, so I don't care. But it doesn't bother me anyway. But yeah, I really like making bases in Conan that are very hidden because of some kind of decoy that I've set up or something like that. I mean, I love doing that. Got quite a few little hidden bases there. I mean, what I did sometimes is I just made a big platform that was in like a hole, and then I built a pyramid on top of the platform, but my actual base is underneath the platform. That's where all my stuff is. So when people raid my pyramid, I've got a few really basic things in there that they raid, and they don't realise that all my really good stuff is actually underneath the ground. So I used to do that a lot. I also used to build a base on top of this broken bridge, but I did it in such a way that you couldn't see it from the floor, but then I'd build another base on the floor, so that would mean that no one else can build in that area, and also that stops people from being able to climb up the bridge. So when people get there, they just see my shitty little base on the floor and pretty much ignore it, thinking, oh, this is some noob who's built this, you know, crappy thing down here, and they don't realise that my actual base is above their head, which is like a decent base with a lot of stuff that they would really like to raid. So yeah, I used to do that a lot. I like that. Friends and followed, but it didn't work. So I clicked on you on a starting grid and followed you. Oh. And the creator of now can see your blueprints. So there you go, guys. I mean, this blueprint system is broken. Sometimes you do one system, it works. Sometimes another one works. The only thing that seems to work for me is to follow people on Xbox and then do a search on the blueprints and search for friends and followed, and then they come up, but they're not in friends and followed. But what this guy did, as you can see here, he clicked on me on a starting grid and followed me in game. So I didn't know you could do that, but yeah, that's another way that people's blueprints might show up. So really good tip there that you might want to try if you are struggling. Oh, she is, isn't she? This is a comment on my character in Fallout 76. Something you can do in Fallout 76 that you could not do in Fallout 4. At any point in the game, you can change your character. You can change your looks, your sex. You can change like the scars, the grime, everything. Everything about your character that you can do when you are starting the game, at any point in the game, you can change all of that. Now, I've two things I've got to say about this. Number one, I love it. Number two, I hate it. The reason I love it is because I am very particular about my characters in game. I spend a huge amount of time making them, and normally once you've made it, you're stuck with it. So normally when I make a character, I spend a lot of time doing that, but I want to play the game. And then when I get into the game, usually when you see your character from all the different angles, in different lights and all that kind of stuff, there's something you're not happy with. And you will not believe how many times I have restarted a game because of this. It's like I've made a character, it looks fine, and then when I start the game, it looks too skinny. So I actually remake the character again and make them a little bit fatter, but I have to start from scratch. So I've done that absolutely countless times. It's ridiculous. So the fact that I can now change my character at any point I would like, I love that. Now certain things like putting grime on my character's face, I like that, but I don't want it there permanently. You can get different clothes in the game, and some of the clothes are quite smart. Like I can put a dress on my character. I don't want shit all over her face if she's got a dress on. I don't want to have all scars and stuff if she's wearing a dress. I don't want her to have a shaved head. I want her to have an elegant hairstyle. I want her to be clean and her to have, you know, elegant makeup on. So I like that I can make those changes. For that reason, it's awesome. But for another reason, I don't like it. Now, in Fallout 4, when you made your character, there were a couple of amazing little, just tiny little touches that made it so special. Now, I've mentioned these before on my Fallout videos, but I am going to mention them here. You could be male or female, like in any game. But in Fallout 4, when you're creating your character, you're stood in a bathroom looking in the mirror, and your partner, who is the opposite sex, is stood behind you. So if you're a male character and you press the button to change to a female one, the female who is stood behind you says, hey, let me have a go, you step aside. And your character moves out the way and they step into the mirror, and then you start adjusting that character's face. Well, I've never seen anything like that in a game, and to me, that was amazing, really refreshing, and such a nice touch. Fallout 76 doesn't have that. You press the button, one person disappears, another person appears. But in Fallout 4, that was beautiful. I really liked it. Now, the other thing that Fallout 4 did, which I have mentioned as well a couple of times, when you're changing your character, if you change something like, you changed your nose, the person that stood behind you goes, oh, you've got such a cute nose, or, oh, I love your nose. If you changed your hair colour or hairstyle, they'd say, oh, have you had your hair done? So they commented on what you were doing while you were making your character. And it was so absorbing. It was beautiful. Now, when you're playing a game like this, the role-playing idea of the game, I like getting into the game as though it's actually happening. Now, I did see a video with someone bitching about Fallout 76 yesterday, and they were moaning about there is no area of the map where there's high level things and there's no area of the map where there's low level things. You could go anywhere and there'd be level 6 things and level 25 stuff, so it's all really kind of random. And I was thinking to myself, I kind of like that, because that's what it would be like. It's like if you just came out of a vault in some apocalyptic world and there's loads of mutated creatures everywhere. Some of them will be strong, some of them will be weak, and they're just going to be all over the place. Some of them will be hostile, some of them won't, some of them will be fighting amongst themselves, and that's just the way it would be. So although that's not very good for progressing through a game, it's just the way it would be. So I actually prefer that. And also in the game you can go anywhere. It's not forcing you to go in one direction. I mean, there kind of is a little bit of a story that says go here, do this, and then go and investigate that, which I've not really done much yet. I've kind of just wandered off by myself. But although it makes the game more difficult because you can stumble into creatures that are way above your level, I like that is I like it. And when I do stumble into creatures that are way above my level, I start sneaking around. I see whether or not I can snipe them from a distance, and I'm careful about them. When I stumble into an area where creatures are significantly lower level than me, I put my guns away, I get my machete out and just hack them to pieces. And in real life, that's the way it would be. So I like that. So that said, the reason that I don't like the ability to change your character the way you can in Fallout 76 is because it's not realistic. In Fallout 4, another thing that they did is if you wanted to change your hair, you could go to a barbershop in Diamond City and you could pay some money to have a different hairstyle, right? That was so absorbing. It was just like real, and it was awesome, and it enabled you to do that. Now in Fallout 76 there are no human NPCs, but they could be a robot that cuts your hair. That a Mr. Handy that's a hairdresser, that would have worked really well. So they could have done something like that, and I think that would have been a lot more absorbing. It would have drawn you into the game more, but it would have meant that obviously you've got to find this character in order to change your hair. Now the other thing you could do in Fallout 76 is change your face by having cosmetic surgery at a doctor's. Again, that is realistic. It draws you into the role play of being the character. I loved that was there, but I also like being able to change my character. But it makes the game more shallow. Being able to just change your character whenever you want makes the game not feel so absorbing. It doesn't draw you in so much. And those few things that I've mentioned in Fallout 4, stepping aside when you change sex, your character commenting on you, having to go to a barber's or a doctor's to change your appearance. You could also buy a chair and you could actually change the things yourself, but only once you'd bought the chair and you had to get one of your settlers working at the chair. So again, it gave you ways that you could change these things, but the way that you did it meant that it was in keeping with the lore of the game. And that, to me, was beautiful. Really well done. Now, I don't think you could change your sex in Fallout 4 at all. I'm not sure, but I don't think you could. But it would have been interesting if there was some kind of hospital where you could go where they actually did a sex change, and you could change the sex of your character. But you know, maybe your character, they could have brought something into the game that made the sex changing something that maybe you could only do a couple of times, and when you did it, it was like a long and difficult process, and you suffered for a while after the operation. I mean, that would have been really awesome, and it would have been in keeping with the other stuff they'd done in the game, with the hairstyles and the cosmetic surgery and all that stuff. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more done with eating the food in Fallout 4, like getting fatter if you eat the wrong type of food and all that. I think in Fallout 76, the food and the drink play such a big role in the game that it forces you to pay attention to it and take time cooking and look for ingredients, whereas in Fallout 4 it just really didn't matter. And I like that now it does matter, it is now important. So yeah, I like that. There are a few things that I like about Fallout 76 that weren't in Fallout 4, but there was a lot more things in Fallout 4 that I wish were in Fallout 76. So yeah, the ability to change your characters is something I love and something I hate. The way it was all done in Fallout 4 was spectacular, really refreshing, and I don't know whether those things were ever in another game, but I've never seen them. They were new to me, and the big one was the change in the sex. Such a small thing. You've not even really started the game, but it was such an amazing idea and attention to detail that it really immediately, upon playing Fallout 4, before I'd left the vault, I was hooked on that game. There were so many things before you leave the vault that were awesome. It was just brilliant. You were so bought into the game at such an early stage. Absolutely brilliant. In Fallout 76, there wasn't really anything before leaving the vault at all. It was just like, here's a load of stuff for you to collect, now leave. And that was it. And the creating your character was sterile. It was just shallow. And then once you've left the vault, you get started in the game, there's nothing. You haven't really bonded with anything. You're not thinking what's going to happen with this, or there was nothing. In Fallout 4, before you leave the vault, you already hate Kellogg. You already hate one of the main characters of the game. It's like you wonder what's going to happen with your baby. Are they going to kill it? Where's it going to go? It sets up the story beautifully. And then, of course, there's the situation with you see your partner die. There's all the prelog story where you're actually at home and you get introduced to God, I can't remember his name. The robot. How can I not remember his name? That's just gone completely. But all of that stuff, the Vault Tech guy coming to the door, all of that stuff is pretty much pre-game. Everything that happens before you leave the vault is pretty much pre-game. But all of that like prelog stuff, there's so much content and story and emotion and everything in there. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The whole concept of Fallout 4 storyline is brilliant right from the start. It just is. And all of that is missing in Fallout 76. Such a shame. Such a shame. Right. There we go. Someone also commenting on that same thing. But yeah, what the new fine art was talking about is the character that I made is quite cute. And she is quite cute. But she's quite rugged. She's got like a bit of a shaved head. She's got a dirty face. And she's got quite a square... I like square jaws. So yeah, she's a little bit... She looks like she could handle herself, and there's an appeal about that. But she also looks like she'd polish up quite nicely if I cleaned her face and did her hair and put her in some nice clothes. But I still need to do a little bit of tweaking around the mouth and the chin. But obviously I can do that now, so there we go. So another blueprint here, another blueprint. Can we get a face reveal? I replied to this. This is the link to my other channel, so let's just pop over to it. And... there we go, that's my face. Oh, that is my face. Well, it's a bit of my face. I have some more face up here, like that. But that's what I look like now. I mean, quite a few of these videos. Oh, God. Oh, look at that. There we go. Oh, how did that happen? Look, this is where I make my things. Let's get back over to here. And now I'll try and zoom out without... moving into something else. Quite a few... Oh my god. Why is this happening? Where's what I'm working on? Is this it? Comments. Right, there we go. Right, I'll stop trying to move around because I'm just messing things up. That was my face, so there's a reveal of my face. Quite a few of my videos that are on my Hypnosis channel are actually me pre-beard, whereas I did grow a beard, which I shared in another video, which is the reason I now live in Colombia and I'm married to my partner. I fell off my bike, I broke my ribs and my elbow, I couldn't shave because I couldn't bend my arm. For this reason I bought a beard. The picture that I've just showed you was actually my Facebook picture a few years ago, so that picture's about 3 years old now. My wife saw that picture when I was kind of looking for her on Facebook and she liked it. And her liking that picture is what kind of got us chatting, and that resulted in me moving to Colombia and us getting married. But prior to that picture, I didn't have a beard, and she wouldn't have liked it because she was specifically looking for someone with red hair and a beard. And I don't have red hair, but my beard does grow a little bit ginger, and on that picture it looked red, and that's kind of the reason that she liked it. So the reason I fell off my bike was because I was in Nuneaton just cycling past the library down the actual cycle lane, and there was an old couple in the cycle lane. I was going really quite fast, and I swerved to go round them, and my front wheel buckled as I did, and that sent me off my bike. And when I crashed, I hit the floor really, really hard, and it actually bent the frame of my bike. I rolled and I cartwheeled around, I got stuck in my frame and all sorts. Now, there was actually a police car driving around the roundabout right next to there as I did it, and they pulled up and they all come running over, right? And you would expect them to say, "Are you all right?" Okay, that's the reaction you expect when someone comes running over to you and you've just crashed quite badly. I mean, it was very badly. I broke 4 ribs in my elbow, but at the time I didn't realise. So I kind of just got, I mean, my arm was bleeding a little bit, but I just got up and said, yeah, I'm okay. But when the police came over, they didn't say, "Are you all right?" Well, not straight away. What they actually said, right, was, "That was bloody awesome." Right? That's the first thing they said when they come running over. And my first reaction was, I wish they'd recorded that on their dashboard cam, because I want to see what it looked like from their point of view. So yeah, they come over and they were like, "That was bloody awesome." Then they said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, no problem. So after that happened, I then went over to... I was meeting my ex at a coffee shop. So I went to the coffee shop, which was Cafe Nero in the Nuneaton. And the girl that is now the manager in there, but at the time she wasn't, her name is Jamie, with the bleached hair. She, cleaned it up with some anaesthetic wipe and gave me a plaster and stuff. And then I used to go in there a lot. I'm an author, so I write, but I used to sit in there writing a hell of a lot. So I knew the staff quite well, and I used to chat to them and stuff. But I've not been in there for a long time now. But yeah, she gave me a little plaster, and then I was sat in there waiting for quite a long time. And I was in there when my ex turned up. She wasn't my ex at the time, but this is going back a while. And a couple of days later, I went back in the coffee shop. My arm's all in this thing, and Jamie was like, "Oh my God, what you've done?" I was like, "Well, I broke my elbow and I've broke 4 ribs." So yeah, it was a lot worse than I actually thought that it was. So moving on, I'm deliberately not thumbsing up any of these ones that have blueprints because, I mean, I'm going to look at some of the blueprints and I'll raise them, and if I like them, I'll thumbs them up. But that's kind of a voting system, so I can't. Game's been out for ages and you still don't have fast travel. What the fuck? Right, the reason I've not got the fast travel, as I say here, I didn't buy the treasure map. I've not looked at anyone else's videos to see where the fast travel boards are. I kind of like discovering them, and there's still some left to go. I'm down to 3,200, so obviously there are some somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I'm going to try and find the others just by driving around. I've not driven on every road yet, and there's certain areas where I've not really gone much at all, but I want to find them myself. I like doing that. Can you access the new cars with this method? Here we go. No access to car pass vehicles early. Car pass seems required. Yeah. Car pass needs you to be online. You can't go online. So I'll thumbs you up for answering the question, and I'll thumbs you up for asking the question, and I won't thumbs me up at all because my answer was completely useless. They're getting lazy. Just cash. Yes. Oh, so Joker looked forward to the winter, and it's just cash in winter as well. That's a shame. In your reflection, it seems you look like Vsauce. What's that? Who's Vsauce? Let's have a look. I don't know who Vsauce is. Vsauce. Oh yeah. I tell you what, I used to wear exactly the same glasses as this. Years and years ago, I used to wear these exact same glasses. I've got more hair than him. So my hair is thinning, but I've got a lot more than this. I've never heard of Vsauce, but that's unbelievable because I actually used to have those exact glasses a long time ago. In my 20s, I used to wear these glasses. And the reason I bought them, there was a DJ, LTK Bumpkin. That doesn't sound right. LTJ Bumpkin. Bumpkin? Country Bumpkin. What was his name? Oh my god, I can't remember. But he wore a pair of glasses that were similar to this. And I'd seen them and I kind of liked them. And no one else was really wearing them at the time. And I had my eyes tested. And when I went to actually choose my glasses, these kind of glasses were not in fashion at the time at all. You just couldn't get them. The only way you could get them was to get, like, reading glasses. So I said to them, oh, I want these. And they went, well, they're reading glasses. They're not for just normal glasses. And when the opticians, I kind of insisted, and when the opticians put them on me, they kept, like, putting stuff above my eyeline, below my eyeline, saying, can you see this okay? Can you see this okay? Because they were sure that they were too narrow, because it was such a different thing. So this is about 1992-ish, maybe 93. And then when I used to go clubbing wearing these glasses, I used to get such a huge amount of attention. I tell you, they were like a chip magnet. Now, I don't know if you're aware of kind of like the... there's a book called The Game. And it's about being able to seduce people, that kind of stuff. It's a really, really good book. I strongly recommend that you read it. Now, I always read that kind of stuff because I'm very, very interested in psychology. That's my area of expertise. I am a hypnotist and all that kind of stuff. So anything to do with that, I always absorb myself in it. I just find it fascinating. So there's this idea of something called peacocking, where you wear something quite ridiculous and it draws attention. So when I used to wear these glasses, this is a long time before anything like The Game came out, but I realised that my glasses, being a tiny bit unusual, gave girls something that they could talk to me about. And I became incredibly successful getting dates and stuff and getting off with people in nightclubs simply because I had something that gave someone a reason to talk to me. Now, I mean, if you see someone that you like and you want to go and talk to them, but you don't know what to talk to them about, there's a good chance you're not going to talk to them at all. But let's say if you see someone that you like and they're wearing an unusual hat, you immediately then can go up to them and start talking about the hat because it's somewhat unusual. Now, when I used to wear glasses like this, that's what used to happen to me. I used to get approached by loads of girls that would just come up to me and go, oh my God, I love your glasses. Can I try them on? And they'd try them on. They'd go, oh, they're real. And they just thought it was kind of like a fashion accessory because at the time, they were so unusual. So when that happened, I kind of stumbled myself into this idea of peacocking. So I started doing other stuff that was a little bit different to make myself stand out because it kind of like gave people something to talk to me about. And I used to get approached all the time and all my friends was like, why do girls approach you? And I was like, well, they've got a reason to approach me. They might want to approach you, but there's nothing for them to... Whoops, I just banged the microphone. It's like they might want to approach you, but because there's nothing that's different, they don't know what to approach you about. They don't know what to say. So I used to say to my friends, just wear something a little bit different or do something a little bit different. Have a weird hairstyle or something. And then girls will come and talk to you about that thing. And it's just an icebreaker. They want to come and talk to you, but they've got nothing to say. And it's exactly the same when you go and talk to someone that you want to talk to. I can remember when I was in the custard factory in Birmingham, I say not that long ago, it's probably about 10 years ago. But there was a girl that had... she'd got like feathers for eyelashes that come out to the side really far and they looked amazing. She looked like a fairy. It was incredible. And I was looking at her from across the room and I was thinking, it must have taken her a long time to get ready. I mean, probably not. She just glued them on. But it looked awesome. Right, I had to go. I didn't find her particularly attractive. I didn't want to get off with her or anything. But I felt that I had to go and talk to her just about her eyelashes because they were so awesome. So, if I'd wanted to go and try and chat her up, those eyelashes would have given me a way in. I actually went and spoke to her anyway about the eyelashes, even though I didn't want to go and try and chat her up. But, it was easy to go and talk to her. I had something to talk about. So, yeah, these glasses did that for me. Now, excuse me. A little bit later, I actually had my eyes LASIK, like laser surgery, which is really weird. When you're having laser surgery, first of all, they put this antiseptic thing in your eye, which is quite good. They're going to cut your eyeball, so you kind of need something that's going to be antiseptic. And before they start, they say you can only do the operation if someone's going to collect you afterwards. And I was like, yeah, my partner is going to collect me, but she can't come here. She works just down the road in an office. Now, that was a lie. She didn't work down the road in the office at all. I was in Birmingham getting my eyes done on New Street, and my partner was at work in the Nuneaton. So I was going to get the train home by myself, which they tell you you're not allowed to do. So I said, oh, I'll meet my partner. And they said, no, she needs to come here. And I said, well, she can't get out of work. So she's only just down the road. So as soon as I'm done, I'm just going to go straight down to her. When I get to her office, she'll get out of work and then she can take me home. So they very reluctantly agreed that after the operation, they'd let me go. So after the operation, they let me go, and I went down to Birmingham New Street Station and got the train back to Nuneaton, and my eyes were fucking killing. It was so painful. Like, their antiseptic thing had worn off, and it just felt like someone had cut my eyeballs open. I got to Nuneaton, and then I got... they were so sensitive as well. I had sunglasses, and I had my hands over my eyes, but everything was too bright. It was so painful. And then I got back to Nuneaton, got a taxi back home, and then I just got into my bedroom. Luckily I had a blackout blind which I closed, and I put this mask on that I had. It was like if you know what a mindfold mask is, most people use them for meditating, and it's completely darkness. So I put that on and I just lay on the bed in agony. But I took a couple of Advil, and when they kicked in, it was fine. It was excruciatingly painful until I took those tablets, and then it just got rid of all of it. But while you're actually having your eyes done, first of all, this little machine kind of like suckers onto your eye, and then they're kind of cut like a flap. So you've got like a little... I'm sorry for anyone squeamish here, but they cut like almost a complete circle, but they leave a little tiny bit, like a hinge, and then they cut behind it as well. So what you essentially have is like a little tiny door on your eye, and then they open up that door and then laser away a bit of what's underneath and then close it back down, which obviously changes the shape of the lens of your eye, which means that you can see properly. So while they're doing this, obviously you can see everything. So you can see the machine coming towards your eye, you can feel it, but it's not painful, but you can still kind of feel it happening. You can feel the suction on your eye and everything. And then when they open the little flap, there's kind of like all these doctors standing around over you, and then you see this instrument coming towards your eye to open the flap. They kind of like go underneath and open it up. But at that point, it suddenly goes all blurry because you no longer have the lens focusing properly. So you can see the doctors, and then they put this instrument in your eye, they move this piece of your eyeball, and then you can't see properly anymore, but you can see blurry. And when I was little, I used to have a lot of dreams about being abducted. And I don't know whether they were dreams or whether it actually happened or not. I did have an experience with some Men in Black, which I cannot speak about because it makes me feel really weird. But I used to be able to do quite a lot of things when I was very small. I could see people's auras, I could see chakras and stuff like that. I could do quite a lot of very spiritual advanced stuff. And I then had this experience with a couple of Men in Black characters, and they stopped me from being able to do that. And they dumped a lot of fear in me, and it changed me a lot when I was about 8 years old. But when I was having this operation on my eyes and it went all blurry, I kind of had like flashbacks of beings standing around me, looking over me, and it was quite frightening. And I know there is a film that has a scene in it which is very like this. I'm aware of that film, I've seen it, I wasn't remembering a scene from the film. I consciously know about that film, and when I actually seen that film from the first time, I think it might have been Fire in the Sky or one of those. But also when I first saw that film, I had the same kind of flashback, that same horrible feeling of these beings looking over me and doing things, and it being all blurry. So yeah, really weird experience. But that's enough on Vsauce. But yeah, you're right. I do look a little bit like this guy, but I have got more hair, and he's got a thicker beard than me. People also search for Adam Savage, who also looks quite... I like Adam Savage. Also looks quite similar. So I've never heard of Vsauce before, but there you go. Very interesting. So let's get back to this. There we go. Look, there's me. No longer with glasses because of my operation, but I do look a little bit like him, I guess. Right. What's the... Oh, this is my blueprints. This is the one I'm supposed to be on. I'll thumbs you up. You're right. Don't do this, you'll get banned. I don't think you will. I mean, the amount of stuff that I did on my YouTube Game Hacks account, I mean, I really took the piss on that account with the Goliath glitch and the VIP house glitch, exploit, all that stuff. I've never been banned from any game ever. And what I tend to do on Xbox is look for exploits and then tell people about them. I mean, I used to do looking for exploits a long time before I ever started putting them on YouTube. But yeah, I like doing that stuff. And I know a few people, I mean, like I said earlier on that comment where someone says, oh, you're copying someone else. Right, I never, ever copy someone else's exploit. I mean, so if I find an exploit from someone else and then I want to tell people about it, I'll tell them where it came from. I'm really open and honest about that. But I do find exploits myself, and I do actively look for them, and I really enjoy finding them. And I don't really enjoy just going on YouTube and searching for them and doing them. That's not really that pleasurable for me. But when you discover one yourself, it's awesome. So I spend a lot of time in games just doing stuff to try and find them. I mean, that VIP house, when they patched that, I had a big list written down in a notepad of ways to try and get that exploit back. Like, do this, do this, do this, do this. Right, other options, do it this way, then do it this way. I tried to come up with every possible different way I could think of that might work. All the different combinations of going offline, of deleting things, everything I could think of. And then I sat there for hours going through them all, trying to make it work. Now, I couldn't find a way of making it work, but if I'd found one, I get so much enjoyment out of that. I really do. I love it. Even if I don't use the exploit, I love finding them. So I always look for them. And when I do find them, I share them. So, you know, I don't think you're going to get banned. I've been doing this kind of stuff for as long as I've been playing Xbox, and I've never, ever been banned or penalised in any way from any game. I just don't think it happens. I honestly think that a huge amount of people just say, I know someone that got banned, or I happen to know that, you know, Bethesda or Turn 10 or whatever are banning people for this exact thing, don't do it. I really don't believe them. I mean, they might genuinely believe it themselves. They might have read it somewhere else, but I don't believe the person who wrote what they read. I just don't think people are getting banned. You might know differently. If you do, that's fine. I've never been banned. If I ever get banned from anywhere for anything, I will definitely tell you about it. Someone else said this as well. I think it was Simon at Fallout UK, Fallen UK, or possibly the new fine art. Who I've just noticed is right here. Anyway, someone else has said this as well. So yes, you can get more Forza Fun points. So I missed a key point. First go offline, second turn off your Xbox, then unplug your Xbox. I didn't do that. I didn't even really turn off my Xbox. I just reset it and it worked for me. So I don't think you absolutely have to do that. But maybe, I mean, it was a bit temperamental with me. So maybe doing this stops it from being temperamental. So you might want to do that. I did think about that. Absolutely. I thought about unplugging my Xbox and leaving it unplugged for at least 15 seconds. So anything that was in, you know, capacitors and stuff was all gone. I mean, obviously, if you're like resetting your modem, you don't just unplug it and plug it straight back in. You need to unplug it and leave it unplugged for a while, because there is still stuff stored in there and it takes a while for that stuff to go away. It's like when you unplug something, sometimes it still has a little light on it because there's still energy in capacitors and things. So you need all that to go away. It's best to leave things about 15 seconds, then plug it back in, and then you're kind of like a hard reset. Sadly, this only works on a few games. I tried this on Forza Horizon 4, was about to come out, but it never worked, sadly. But it does work, obviously, just not for every game. I thought this was weird because I was doing it on Forza Horizon 4. I meant when the game was on I see. So this person did this themselves when the game was on pre-order to try and get the game early. Right, I don't think it'd work like that on many games, but maybe it does on some. But I mean, I was doing it more to just have a look at the future rewards, and I hadn't even really thought about doing anything like this at all. As I said on the video, this comes from Spitfire Buzz. It was his idea. I don't know whether he thought of it himself or whether he got it from somewhere else, but he suggested it to me, so that's the only reason I did it. I had no desire to look forward at what was there, and he'd mentioned it a couple of times in comments. So, I mean, I decided, yeah, I'm going to have a look. Right, let's move on. Bogota, nice man. Yeah, I love living here. It's awesome. The other day, I bought like a GoPro. And what I'm thinking about doing, so I thought this was pretty awesome. I mean, not just for you guys, but for my family, I think. My family have never been to Colombia. My dad, he cannot fly. He's got an illness that means he can't fly. It's a problem with his lungs, and the air pressure would be too bad for him. But also, Bogota is very high. It's like I'm a snowboarder, and I've snowboarded all over Europe, and I've never been as high as Bogota is when I've been snowboarding. So when I first came here, I got altitude sickness, which feels like a hangover with no party, which is not nice. So when I first came here, I was here for 3 weeks, and for most of that time, I felt like I had a hangover, and you can feel that there isn't any oxygen. And then for the first year or two of me being here, sometimes we go to a restaurant that's a little bit higher up than where we live. And as we're driving to the restaurant, I can feel that I have gone past where my lungs work properly, and I'm struggling to breathe. So there's no way that my dad could ever come to Bogota at all. It just couldn't happen. His lungs wouldn't be able to cope that. It would be too dangerous. So he's struggling with being able to fly anywhere. So now he's only going on holidays where he can go on a cruise. He's actually on one right now. He's just on a cruise of the Mediterranean. I think at the moment he's on holiday in Wales. You're not going to cruise to Wales. Cruise down the M6. Yeah, so he can't fly anymore, which is very, very unfortunate because he would love it here. He really would. So anyway, I've bought a GoPro, and one of the things that I'm thinking about doing is popping my GoPro on my bike and cycling. I mean, I live in the north of Bogota. I don't live in the downtown area, so it's not like the main city or anything. But I cycle to a mall that's a little bit further north quite regularly. It's actually the mall where I did my comments on comments video from, number 4. So I was thinking about recording that journey just to show people a little bit about what Bogota looks like. I was thinking about also recording walking around the mall and stuff like that, and probably cycling to a few other places because my family have not come here, so it's going to give them the opportunity to see it. And I thought you guys might be interested as well, so I might post up a video kind of just showing what Bogota's like. Maybe also get some stuff downtown. I mean, the downtown is obviously a lot nicer. Well, a lot more interesting. There's like nice skyscrapers that are interesting to look at and stuff like that, and you know, architecturally beautiful buildings. Whereas the further you move away from the city centre, the more standardised some things become, like apartment blocks that all look the same. Same with every city, really. The interesting stuff is in the hub of the city. But yeah, I was thinking about just making a few videos like that. So I have bought a new little GoPro thing. I actually got it with my Life Miles, which is like Air Miles for Star Alliance, which is the airline. I use the airline Avianca, who are a member of Star Alliance, and they give you Life Miles. So I got it from them, and I also got a new phone. It hasn't arrived yet, but I've gone away from Apple for the first time ever, and I've got an Honor 8X, which I'm still waiting for delivery. Now, on my last comments on comments video, I talked about giving away my what was it? My iPod Touch, and I talked about when I did that and the experience I had from doing that. And because I've bought a phone that isn't Apple, I now have, surplus to requirements, an Apple Watch. So I've got an Apple Watch and a lot of spare straps that I'm no longer going to use, so I'm going to give that away. So what I was thinking about doing is keeping it on my person at all times. I just keep it in my bag, and when I'm at the mall or something and I see someone who's got an Apple phone but they don't have an Apple Watch, I'm just going to approach them and give it to them. So similar to when I gave away the iPod Touch, it's such a weird experience. I really encourage people to do this. It's such an adrenaline rush. It makes you feel incredible, and the reward you get from that, the feelings you get from doing something like that, is much, much more than the actual, you know, monetary value of that product. Now, for those people that didn't watch the previous comments on comments video, the reason I gave away the iPod Touch, I just bought an iPhone, I wasn't using the iPod Touch anymore, and I put it in a drawer in the kitchen, and then I looked in that drawer and there was like an old Nokia in there and all sorts of technology that now is worthless. But at the time I put it in the drawer, it wasn't worthless, and if I'd have given it away, anybody would have been delighted to have it. So I didn't want the iPod Touch to do the same thing. So I then thought, no, I'm not going to chuck it in the drawer. I could have sold it on eBay for probably about 80 quid or something, but I thought, well, I'm just going to give it away instead, and that giving it away it did feel awesome. So if you've never given something away, I strongly recommend that you do that. Just give something that's reasonably valuable away to an absolute stranger. What I did with the iPod Touch is I hovered around inside the CEX, like a second-hand sort of entertainment exchange type shop in Nuneaton. I saw a guy with his daughter, and they were looking at them, and they were talking about buying them, and he said maybe for Christmas we can't afford it and everything. So I approached them and I gave it to them, and it was a really bizarre experience. My heart was pounding, and it felt amazing. And even just thinking about it still feels amazing. It's like the reaction I got from him, the reaction from his daughter was incredible, and a couple of other people in the shop as well that saw it happen. And I'm not trying to gloat or boast or anything like that. I mean, I got way more from that exchange than he did. He got an iPod. I got an incredible feeling that I would not be able to go to a shop and say, hey, I want to feel this amazing feeling, here's £80. You know, you can't do that. So I'm going to do the same thing again with my Apple Watch. I'll be giving it away to someone, probably in a coffee shop in the mall that I usually go to. They probably won't speak any English. But yeah, I want to do that. Or I might hang around in the actual store where they sell them. There's a a department store called Falabella in Colombia, which is, I really like it. It's like Debenhams in England, but much better. And they've got they've got lots of little shops within it. So there's kind of like an Apple shop section, and then there's, you know, like loads of different little sort of areas that are dedicated to a specific shop, which is a bit weird actually. So the Apple section of that shop, they have like a big display out of all the Apple Watches on. So I might sort of like hover around there until I find someone I think's the right person to give my watch to. Now, when I actually bought the watch, I bought it on the very first day when it was first released, and I'd set my alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning to wake me up so I could do the pre-order. And I actually had a dream that woke me up, like startled me. And my dream was that I'd woke up at 4 minutes past 8, and or a minute past 8, something like that. I think it was a minute past 8. And I tried to order the watch, and they'd sold out. So that woke me up, and that was just before 8 o'clock. So I immediately went to the website. The website was down, so I kept refreshing. As soon as I managed to get on there, I ordered. And then at 4 minutes past 8, which is where the 4 comes from, they did actually run out, and it wasn't available then for a few months. Now, immediately, they were selling on eBay for like 3 times what I'd paid for it. I think I paid 300 and something pounds, but they were on eBay for like 900 odd straight away. So when mine arrived, and it arrived on the very first day of release, which I think was April the 1st, but I'm not sure. Something like that, or April the 11th? No, I think it was sometime anyway. I got mine really early in the morning, so I was one of the first people to get it. So I was tempted to put it on eBay. I thought, no, I've got to open it. So I opened it, and I started using it, and I immediately fell in love with it. And I was like, no, I'm not selling this for 3 times its value and then waiting for another one. I'm keeping it. So I used to use it quite a lot, whereas now I hardly use it at all. I've not worn it for months. So, I mean, it's been sitting on my desk in my office for a long time, and it's just going to become wasted. It's only the version 1. They're already on version 3. So if I give it away now, it's still a valuable thing that someone's going to really like to get. If I leave it much longer, it's going to not be that valuable anymore, and it will just become a wasted bit of technology. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm still waiting for my new phone to arrive, but I am going to give away my watch. So moving on. Never knew about this. What was it? Oh, changing the date. So some people are really angry about that video. Some people really like it. Another one asking if you can get banned. I've already replied to this, but we've done that already. You live in Colombia. It's Colombia with an O, which is a country in South America, whereas Colombia with a U is a state in North America. But unbelievably so, even though I've mentioned this quite a few times to my family, they keep putting Colombia with a U instead of Colombia with an O. I've actually got a friend who I used to work with on... I used to work with her at McDonald's, and she's my friend on Facebook. And she writes to me all the time. But every time she writes to me, she always calls me Stephen with a P and a H instead of with a V. Now, she's writing me on Messenger on Facebook, and it's got my name. She always puts the PH. It's like she's refusing to accept that Stephen can be spelt with a V. Right, always, always. But yeah, a lot of people do this. But also, you might not have done it. Autocorrect might have done it, because it does. It changes it to a U all the time. If I search for something on Google and I put Colombia, it always changes it to Colombia with a U. But yeah, always. So I am loving it here. As I say on this, it feels like home. Weirdly, when I first was coming over here, I went into a travel agent in England saying, have you got any information on Colombia, on Bogota? And they was like, what? You're going there? And it's like, I think everyone's impression of this country is it's a jungle where there's a lot of cocaine, and that's it. They grow coffee, they have a lot of cocaine factories in the jungle, there's a lot of terrorism here, and Pablo Escobar. It's like, that's all people know about it, but it's actually, I love it here. It's nothing like what people expect it to be. It's like, I remember I said to one of my friends, we was talking about New Year's Eve, and he said, what do people in Colombia do on New Year's Eve? Do they all just shoot their guns off their rooftops? It was like, it's not, people don't have guns here. I mean, obviously criminals do, but just normal people don't. It's a bit like, it's very similar to England in a lot of respects, to be honest. But obviously there is a lot more crime here. Actually, something that happened quite recently, right, this is so out of order, it's unbelievable. If you go to the bank and you withdraw a considerable amount of money, like the equivalent of about £4,000 or more, there is a service that the bank provide where they will give you, they will arrange for a couple of police officers to escort you to your home so that you are safe, right? About a month ago, a woman withdrew some money from the bank, and it was enough money to warrant having a police escort. So she had a police escort home. She gets home, the police go away, and about an hour later, she got, her house was broken into, and she got robbed. She was in her home, and she got robbed, and people had guns and things, and they stole her money. But whilst they were robbing her house, she recognised one of them, and one of the people that were robbing her was one of the police that had given her an escort home. Then they looked on the, she was quite a wealthy woman, and she had CCTV cameras around her house. So they looked at the footage from the CCTV, and the footage showed the police giving her an escort home, and then when they came away, one of them went to the back of her house, and you saw him on the phone, obviously calling for his other friends that weren't police to come to him and then to raid the house, and you saw it all happen. So obviously he was caught, and he's in prison for it. I mean, it was a month or so ago, so that's only the reason that I know of it. But yeah, sometimes I hear about some horrible crimes that happen, but you hear about horrible crimes everywhere. But to me, that one really stood out because she was using a service to provide herself with safety, and that's the exact service that ended up being the crime. So it was unbelievable, real shame, but really out of order. There's a lot of corruption here. There is. I mean, I know my sister-in-law, when she was pregnant, she got pulled over by the police for some traffic violation. I don't know what it was. And the police, the officer that pulled her over, first of all, was trying to demand money from her as a bribe. And then when she refused to do that, he then started talking about the possibility of sex. Right? She's sitting in her car pregnant. So obviously she refused to do that as well. But she's actually a lawyer. So obviously she knows her rights. But yeah, things do happen that aren't supposed to happen. But the country, in my opinion, is going in a really good direction. It's like there is so much construction going on here. It is mind-blowing. Now, when I do that video of going to the mall, you will see that everywhere there are new buildings, there are new apartments, there are so many malls here, it's shocking, like really big ones, and they're really making an effort. Now, a lot of the roads are a bit crap, but they don't seem to prioritise that, and the government has changed recently. So they used to have quite a corrupt, like the person in power was quite corrupt, and a lot of the money was being siphoned out of what it should have been spent on. And since we had a vote a couple of years ago where the people in power were changed, I have noticed that a lot of the roads have been fixed since then. There seems to be a lot of money being spent on public things, which is good. So that's awesome. But I do absolutely think that Bogota is going to become quite a cosmopolitan city. They are really, really making an effort to improve everything and also to improve their reputation. Now, I mean, you go back, 15, 20 years, this country was in serious problems, and there was a huge amount of crime here. I mean, Pablo Escobar was paying people $500 to kill a police officer. So a lot of people were killing police just to get money because they were in a dire situation. That was insane. So it was really dangerous to be police here, and the police were obviously corrupt. Now, I mean, if you've watched Narcos, you'll know what it was like, and that's quite an accurate representation of what it was like. Now, if you're a police officer and you stop someone from committing a crime, and then the person that you stopped tells you your name, tells you where you live, and tells you the name of your children, and threatens you like that, and says you have a choice, and his choice used to be lead or silver, plata or plomo, and lead is we'll shoot you, or silver, you'll take the bribe, and your family will be safe. If you're a police officer not getting paid much money, what do? It's like they're in a situation where they really didn't have much choice. And that led to corruption, and that led to the country having the reputation that it did for a long time. Now, all that has gone. I mean, nowadays, if I go to places, quite often you see two police officers all over the place, like under an underpass at a crossing or whatever, and one's got like an automatic rifle and the other one's got a shotgun, and you feel safe. It's like they're out there to protect you. There is a huge police force just on the streets all the time. I see police on motorbikes all the time, which is great. More places should use police on motorbikes because they can get through traffic. You see police on horses quite regularly. You just see bunches of police hanging around. You see the army regularly. One of the things that they also do here, which I think is pretty bloody awesome, when you see the army, you have to put your thumb up. So if you're driving along the road and there are some army on the road somewhere up ahead, you'll notice that as the cars go past them, everyone puts their thumb up as they drive past. And it's kind of like giving a bit of respect to the army. Now, the army are constantly fighting against the people that are in the jungles. I mean, Colombia used to be rainforest, and there are still areas that are rainforest, and this is where there are it's where the cocaine is, and it's where there are a lot of people that, thankfully, because of the army, are not coming into the civilized places, the cities and the towns, and they're keeping those places safe. Now, there is a place where we go to. It's about a 3-hour drive south, so it's going down towards the equator from where I am, and it's where most people that live in Bogota have like a holiday home. So we go there. One of our friends has got like a villa in this town, so we go there quite often. But when my wife was younger, when she was a teenager, that drive through the jungle to that town was too dangerous. If you drove through there, you were going to get kidnapped or killed or something. There was too many terrorists in that area. The guerrilla sort of thing was going on there. There was always war in that part of the country. So that was too dangerous. Now, she remembers when she was, I don't know, maybe about 14 years old, the government did something to make this place safe, and they did a real strong move against all of these criminals. And the army, along with the police force and everybody, there was a huge convoy that went down this road to this place where everyone had all these villas. And at the front of the convoy was a tank, and then there was all army and the military police and everything in a big convoy. And then inside the convoy, there were the people driving their cars. So my wife's dad was driving in that convoy with my wife as a child, going on holiday to this place where everyone goes and they have their villas for the first time, feeling safe because they were protected by the army. And that whole route was opened up and protected, and the problems that were in the jungle were pushed back to the point where we now drive down that route when we go to our friend's villa. Reasonably often, every few months we do it. But you don't have to go back very far. 25, 30 years ago, you couldn't do that. So I think for people outside of Colombia, the country still has a reputation. And it's not surprising, because the only experience that most people have of this country is programs like Narcos. What's the Tom Clancy thing? The game? I played that a lot. I really liked it, actually. But it was set in Bolivia. So if there is a game that's to do with drugs, it's set in this part of the world. If there's a program to do with drugs, it's set in this part of the world. If there's corruption, all that kind of stuff, this is where it's set. So that's the reputation that is presented to the outside world of this place. And it's just not like that. It really isn't. It's a lot more civilized than people think that it is. It's a lot more developed than people think that it is. There's beautiful shopping malls that really amaze me. Absolutely astonishingly good restaurants that are incredible food, incredible service, incredible people. It's very cheap. The cinemas and the restaurants are so impressive that I am embarrassed by England. Seriously. It's like when I went to England with my wife in April the year before last, and it's the first time she'd ever been there. We go to a restaurant and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the service. I'm embarrassed by the price. I'm embarrassed by the food. I'm embarrassed by the presentation. I'm embarrassed by the taste, because all of those things are infinitely better here than they are in England. And I mean, we didn't go to the cinema in England, but if we had done, I'd have been embarrassed by the seats. I'd have been embarrassed by the food, the cost, everything. In Colombia, it's just way ahead of what we have in England. I mean, we went around London, we went around Harrods and Selfridges and things like that. And I'll tell you what, right? We only saw one famous person in London, okay? We actually saw two. I saw Tim Westwood, but I was just running to McDonald's across Leicester Square, and my partner wasn't with me, but I saw Tim Westwood just by McDonald's on the way there. But we also saw one other person, and my wife, before she met me, absolutely adores Downton Abbey. She has watched all of it over and over again, and she loves it. It's one of her favourite programmes, and she loves the way that presents England. That's, most people outside of England think that's what England is. I mean, I took her to the Cotswolds, and we went around a lot of the little towns around there, like quintessential England with the chocolate box houses and those kind of things. So I took her around all those little villages, and that's what she thought all of England was like. I mean, obviously there's London as well, but that was her impression of England, because she'd seen Downton Abbey. Now, unfortunately, we didn't go, is it Highclere? We didn't go to the actual building of Downton Abbey. I did look at a tour for it, but there were none at the time we were in England, so we couldn't do it. But I would have loved to have done that. But she loves Downton Abbey, and the one person that we saw in England was Carson. One of her favourite, is it Carson or Carlson? The butler. One of her favourite characters from her favourite show. And we were sat on the wall in Leicester Square, and he just walked through. And she was like, oh, there's Carlson. Is it Carlson or Carson? I'm really not sure. But she was like, there's Carlson. And I looked up, and it obviously was him. And I was like, go and speak to him. She was like, no. And he will be so chuffed that you're from Colombia and your favourite show is Downton Abbey, and you're now here in England for the first time, and this is the only famous person that you see. I was like, speak to him. And she wouldn't do it. I was like, just come up and have a photo with him. But she wouldn't. She was too embarrassed. But yeah, it was. I was really pleased that that was the person that she saw. Just absolutely incredible. I mean, if she'd have seen a lot of other famous people, she might not have recognised them, but I would have done. But no, we didn't see anyone else apart from me bumping into Tim Westwood. That was it. I've actually bumped into Tim Westwood a few times, and Richard Gervais as well. I've bumped into him a few times in and around London. I've bumped into a lot of people, and Patsy Palmer, who did Bianca from EastEnders. Is it Bianca? Is that right? I don't know, the one that used to go, Ricky! Oh, I bumped into her as well in London. But, Carson from Downton Abbey, the only famous person we see, and from my wife's favourite TV programme, a programme that she's been watching a long time before she even entertained the idea of coming to England or being married to someone from England. So I thought that was really, really cool. Oh, I'd just like to say, anyone who adds me as a friend on Xbox or any of that kind of stuff, or sends me a message on Xbox, I'm not ignoring you on Xbox. I have all my notifications turned off, and I've got hundreds and hundreds of messages from people on there. I don't really ever look at them on Xbox. I did reply to someone the other day, and in case you're watching this video, you did say to me, do you think it's worthwhile getting Fallout 76? I kind of think it is. Get it while it's cheap. I'm enjoying it, but I'm so pissed off about what they did with that bag that I almost regret spending money that's going to them, because I think that was so out of order, really out of order. But I'm enjoying the game, I definitely feel already like I've got my my money's worth on that game. I do, and I'm not even very far in. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm really looking forward to doing that I haven't done. Excuse me, that I haven't done yet. I love building stuff, so I'll be doing that. And obviously, the game will get better. What I did yesterday, I was just looking through the radio stations, and one of the radio stations on the game is called Hunter or Hunted or something like that. And I just put that radio station on, and it started a quest, right? No warning at all, but the quest was there were several players, and you have to hunt and kill the other player. Right? I'm really low level. I had no fucking chance. I had no armour or anything, and this guy who was level 35 come running up to me with all power armour on, and I was sort of hiding a little bit and he didn't see me. I managed to shoot him with my sniper rifle twice, and I got his health really low. Then he realised where I was and just come pounding over in his full set of power armour, shot me once and I was instantly dead. But I didn't even know that's what it was going to do. But obviously when I get a little bit stronger and I found some power armour and I've got decent weapons, I'm gonna jump into that. It's quite nice. I think it started off with maybe about 5 players, and it kind of like puts an area on the map to give you an idea of where they are, and then you've got to kind of find them and hunt them. And I liked it. I liked it. I didn't intend to do it, and I mean, if I'd have known that's what it was, I certainly wouldn't have done it because I'm only a low-level character. But I like that is there, and I'm going to do that in future. Now I've experienced playing with a couple of people, but not much. I've had a couple of people kill me, but not really a great deal. But there doesn't seem to be much going on with the multiplayer, and I mean, I don't have any friends that play on Xbox anyway, so I'm not getting any of that. But I do like that we have the ability to say, yes, I want to be in a conflict situation, because what Bethesda have done, and a lot of people are moaning about this, but I kind of like it. If someone comes up and starts shooting you, unless you shoot them back, it only gives very low damage. So it stops people from just coming up and just killing new characters, because that would be so bloody annoying. But with that radio station, you have the ability to just remove all of those safeguards for you and a few other players, and then you start hunting each other, and it's pretty nice, because sometimes you just want to get on with doing stuff, and it's bloody annoying when you've just gone and found loads and loads of scrap, and then someone kills you, and just, I mean, they can only take your junk, which doesn't sound very good, but the junk's important. It's very important to me. You know, I'm looking for junk to build things, so when I find some junk, I want to get back to my base and keep it safe. You know, a lot of people were moaning that you don't drop your weapons or any, you know, really good stuff when people kill you, but I kind of like it. I like that. And I mean, the ability to have the safeguards turned off is good, but I believe you still only drop junk, even on that mode. But if you want to kind of kill people, that mode is there. So it's on the radio station for anyone who's not seen it. I found it by accident. This is Spitfire Buzz. This is the guy that suggested this video, so obviously a shout out to him for that. And I mean, I've looked at his channel before, but there's not really much in there. He's got a little bit in there, and he said he doesn't want to make many videos. But I think he should, because he's come up with a few good suggestions before and said them to me. And I was thinking, well, you could do this stuff. So, I mean, I'm going to keep an eye on that video. And I can look at an individual video and see how much money it's making and all that kind of stuff from YouTube advertising revenue. So if this video, I mean, it's had quite a lot of views already. If this video makes a decent amount of money, I'm going to be sending Spitfire Buzz, if you're listening to this, I'm going to be sending you, you know, a chunk of that money. I'll be sending you half of whatever this video makes, because it was your idea. So I don't think that I should get financial benefit from something you come up with. I mean, your idea, my platform, 50-50. So I'll keep an eye on this video. I'll keep an eye on what money it makes. And in like a month or so, if it's made some money, I'll just send you half of it by PayPal. It's only fair. So yeah, if you do come up with, if you don't want to make your own YouTube channel and you get other ideas and you want to share them with me and I'll share them, I'll do that in future. And we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion. But I also do think you should do your own YouTube channel. You'll enjoy it. It's fun. What we got here? Great video, but you need the Xbox to be set as your home. Ah, yes. I've done other exploits where my Xbox wasn't set to my home console, because I have two. I've got an older Xbox One and an Xbox One X, and I was trying to do an exploit on my One X, but my Xbox One was my home console, and the exploit wouldn't work. It was the VIP house glitch. And the reason being, I couldn't go online when I was... I couldn't play the game offline unless it's my home console. So you do need your Xbox to be set to your home console. The reason I missed it this time is because it now is set to my own console, so I just didn't think about that, but you are completely correct. First, well done. What's another car I can do this with? Oh yeah, this was I did it in the MC12. Just use anything. I take a look through my garage. I was thinking the Zonda. Probably the Vulcan's better because I find the Zonda really hard to control, but the Vulcan's very easy to control. It's nice to drive, the Vulcan is. I mean, what's the Vulcan? Is that a speed boost as well? I'm not sure. But yeah, I like the Vulcan. It's really nice. Possibly an Alfa. Yeah, I like Alfa Romeos very much. There are many choices. Yeah, there are. This Forza Edition, the MC12, it's nice, but there are other cars that I think are possibly more fun to drive. I really do think that the Vulcan is probably more fun to drive than the MC12. One of the reasons that I particularly like this is because it's got the 7 times multiplier and the 3 times speed builder for your skill chain, which is kind of why it's almost my go-to car for doing anything where I need to be fast. Oh shit, I forgot my coffee. Right, and also, I mean, if I have coffee, sometimes I have it black, sometimes I have it white, sometimes I have it black with sugar, sometimes I have it white with sugar. I kind of see them all as different drinks. I do the same with tea as well. Depends what mood I'm in. And today I have white coffee with sugar. That is the worst combination for cold coffee, right? Black coffee cold ain't too bad, but white coffee cold or white coffee with sugar cold, that's fucking horrible. I don't mind cappuccinos cold. I'm still going to drink it. I didn't make it actually. The cleaner bought it for me. She brings me up. I don't know. I have to speak quietly because I'm talking about the cleaner. I can hear her downstairs washing up. Right. She only comes here on a Friday. But she always makes me coffee. Sometimes she makes me some breakfast as well. But if she can hear me talking, like doing one of these videos, she feels like she can't interrupt, so she doesn't make me any breakfast. If I'm doing something, she doesn't make breakfast, but she bought this coffee up before I started the video. So yeah, it's quite old now. However long I've been recording, that's how long this coffee's been going cold for. I should refresh it, but I'm going to stick with it. Moving on. Oh, I'll thumbs up your reply, because I liked it actually. Right, added a fun, but... Oh, it's a blueprint. I'm not going to do the blueprints at all. So, one from Simon. So, one of the regular people. The new fine art is someone that plays Forza a lot, but also plays Fallout 76. I've also noticed that XNY1, who is one of my regulars on Forza, and he's done some awesome blueprints, also plays Fallout 76. So, a few of you do both, which I like, because I always feel a little bit guilty when I talk about Fallout when most of the people on my channel are here for Forza. So it's nice that some, especially my regulars, do both. Right, let's have a look. It took Bethesda nearly 2 years before they offered Fallout 4 at reduced price. Last night I saw that on the Xbox Store 76 had been knocked down to £40, whereas I paid 80 2 weeks ago. Despite that, more people are paying a high price for a proper taste of playing with other people last... Oh, there we go. Yeah, so he's playing with other players. The lower level players like it when you drop something for them. Yes, we do. Someone dropped a couple of plans for me the other day and I liked that. But I don't want someone to drop like too much stuff. I don't want to progress through the game too quickly. I think that would be taking away part of the experience from me. So I like it when people give me stuff, but I don't want them to give me too much. The new fine art paid £80. I saw it was on for 40, and I paid 40 on the Black Friday deal. And I genuinely feel, as I said before, like I've had my money's worth. It's got problems, but there are, excuse me, there's a couple of patches coming out quite soon, and I've seen what they've said they're going to do on the patches, and it looks like what they've got planned is pretty damn good. But I'm looking forward to when the mod community get their hands on it. It's going to be fucking awesome then. But because there are microtransactions, and that's that's really propping up Bethesda at the moment as far as Fallout is concerned. But they're getting money from the microtransactions, so they're obviously not going to allow the modding community to get their hands on the game for a while, because why would you buy stuff from their shop that's expensive if someone can mod it. Or what they might do is they might restrict what the modding community can do so it doesn't conflict with their microtransactions. So they might do something like that. Who knows? But I mean, I really hope that they allow the modders on it. But because it's online, and the servers are obviously already struggling, they're going to have to restrict the modding community a lot compared to what they permitted them to do on Fallout 4, because the server system just will not handle that. So either they're going to do better servers. I mean, what they should have is the ability for you to choose a server. I mean, on Conan, when you start Conan, right, you have a huge list of servers, and you can look at the rules on the servers. Is there PvP? If there is, what times is the PvP? You know, how much resources do you get when you harvest something? How long does it take for you to convert a thrall to one of your, you know, an NPC to one of your slaves? There are so many factors in that game that can be altered, and there are unlimited servers with all different settings, and there's loads of official ones. And then they've also given the players the ability to have their own server as well. And then you can set your own rules on your own server. And that is brilliant. So I played on loads of different servers on Conan Exiles. And it was quite similar to playing Fallout 4 in survival mode, or playing it with mods and cheating. It was like on some servers, you know, on some servers, when I tried to harvest something like some wood from a tree or some rock, rather than getting 1, I got 50 by hitting it once. So I jumped into one of those servers simply because I wanted to build a huge fortress. So I want to get my resources fast because I want to focus on building my huge fortress. Now everybody in that server is doing the same thing. So it's all equal. It's not like there's one person getting way more resources than someone else and it's unfair. Yet in another server, the resources you get are less than you would normally get, and you get hungry really often and thirsty really often, and it's like a real survival thing. Like on some servers in Conan Exiles, you can say when you die you drop your stuff. On other servers it says when you die you keep your stuff. Now to me, I always only went with servers where you die you drop your stuff, because when you keep your stuff, what you tend to do is you go around and you collect way more resources than you can carry, so your character can barely move, and then you just kill yourself, which teleports you back to your base so that you can use the resources. And to me that felt a bit wrong, so I always avoided those ones. But to a lot of people that's what they wanted. To them that was better. So the way that Conan Exiles server system works was fucking awesome. I would love it if Fallout 76 did something like that. It would be brilliant. And if they did, then they would have some servers which enable you to use mods, and some people, you know, some servers which don't. If they copy Conan Exile's server, you know, idea, like their blueprint, that would be brilliant. It really would be brilliant. So I got a thumbs you up. He said he also did what I did, made a mistake of taking over a workshop before he was able to defend it. I've noticed that quite a few people just don't care if you take over a workshop. I mean, I took over a workshop and just had it doing loads of purified water for me. It was like a purified water factory. And then I took over another workshop last night, and it had a food processing unit in it that was making steaks all the time. So I just popped back there and collected my steaks. The wonderful thing about taking over these workshops is once you've got one, on the map screen you can teleport to it, so you can fast travel between your base and your workshop, which is really handy for getting around on the map, especially if they're quite far away from each other. I mean, you do need to defend them, and people can take them off you, and if you go offline when you come back, it's probably not going to be yours anymore. But one of the things that Fallout 76 enables you to do, and I've mentioned this before, you can build something and then set it all as a blueprint, so that when you want to build it again, you just like sort of press one button and it's done. So you can take over a workshop, then build a construction in that workshop area that is a defense. And then you can blueprint all of that, save it, and then if someone takes it off you or whatever, or if you go offline and it gets taken off you, you can go there, you can contest it, take it back, and as soon as you've taken it back, you can just slap that thing straight down to protect it. Jump inside it so you're safe, and you've got all your turrets protecting you and whatever you've got inside there that is harvesting materials for you. So it's absolutely possible to take over a workshop, steal it from someone else or take one that isn't claimed by anybody, and then immediately have something there ready to defend it. And when you do take over these workshops as well, they have a lot of materials in them for you to be able to build things. So for instance, I don't have much oil in the game. I always run out of that, and you need that for turrets and also circuitry. Whereas if I'm trying to build turrets just from my own stuff, I might be able to build 1 or 2 to protect my base. But if I've taken over a workshop, I can build like 6 or 7 because it's got a load of that stuff ready for you to use. So yeah, they're pretty awesome. Loads of people complain about the stash. The stash is increasing on the next update, I have seen. So yeah, we're going to get more stash. But I mean, you can just put your stuff in things that are not your stash. It's not as good, it's not safe, people can steal it. It doesn't, you know, if you build a stash box somewhere else, all of your stash is available, which is pretty cool. But, you know, it doesn't enable you to access it from anywhere. You know, this is another thing as well, where Fallout 76, it's a bit shallow compared to Fallout 4. On Fallout 4, you had to get to a certain rank and you had to unlock a certain perk. Then you had to assign a character to walk between one place and another. So you had someone who physically walked between one place and another, backwards and forwards, and you had to connect all of your settlements together like this. Now, once you'd done that, if you was in one settlement, you could use the resources that were in your workshop from another settlement. And that made sense, right? It wasn't completely real. You know, I mean, obviously, it wouldn't just be available. The person would have to go and get it. But it sort of made sense as to why you could do that. Whereas in Fallout 76, that's not the case. You have a stash box, and you can get stuff out of that stash box. And if you build another stash box all the way across the other side of the map, immediately, everything from your original stash box is in it. And also, if you happen to stumble into someone else's stash box, all of your stuff is in there as well, which makes absolutely no sense. There is, as far as I am aware, there is nothing in the game that explains how or why that works, right? It's just completely, it's just something that is completely outside of the law of the game, totally. The same as like you press a button and you change from male to female, completely outside the idea of the game. It's just mechanics of you are playing a game, this is something you might need, here you go. Whereas in Fallout 4, they thought, we can't have someone being able to access their stuff from anywhere because that makes no sense. In the real world, you can't do that. So what can we do? Okay, we can enable them to unlock an ability where they can tell one of their settlers to walk between these two places. Then you're going to have those materials available in both places. So they'd proper sat down and thought about it. They'd thought about, you can't just change sex in a game. That doesn't happen. So what can you do? Oh, you can get your partner to say, step aside, let me have a go. You know, and then when you get in the game, they said, well, no, you can't just change your hair whenever you like. You've got to go to a barbershop. So in the game, you've got to go to a salon and have your hair changed. So yeah, I think what probably happened in Fallout 4, if there was a bunch of people locked in a room sitting down saying, I would like the ability to do this in the game, but it's not compatible with the law of the game. How can we make it compatible with the law of the game? Let's come up with an idea. Awesome, we'll do that. Whereas in Fallout 76, they kind of said, I'd like the ability to do this, 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 and this. So yeah, let's just allow them to do it. But it's not compatible with the law. We don't care. That's just an ability that these people have. And that made it a lot more shallow, less absorbing. It pulls away from that role-playing aspect of it. So there we go. Fallout 4 was a lot more realistic on the way that you did stuff. And I really admired that. That impressed me a lot. I love those little attention to details. And seriously, that impressed me a lot. So let's move on. No, I still haven't started my Christmas shopping at all. And my Christmas shopping involves me buying a load of stuff off Amazon, having it all delivered to my parents' house, and then telling my parents who it's for. Because I'm not going over to England, and I'll probably go to England in April or something like that. Or May. I think I'm going to go over to England next year in May with my wife, but I'm also going to go a bit later in the year just to see family by myself. My wife had limited time off work, so she can't spend all of her holidays just going to England. Keep up with the storytelling. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my stories. There are some more for you in this video. What we've got here again. Hey Katumi, I always love seeing a new video from you. Thank you very much. I haven't got any blueprints worth sharing yet, but I have got a couple of good tunes. Yes, share them. Oh, I did reply to this. I thought I had. Also, how are you going with drifting? Right, if you've got tunes to share or anything like that, share them. If you've got anything at all that my subscribers might like to see, use my YouTube channel as a platform to share it. Now, probably it's going to be up in here, but I will look at this. When I wind up this video, I'll pop in there and see what's in there, and I will allow it. So I'm more than happy for you to do that. So yes, please do share your stuff because other people might want it. So how is my drifting going? Right, you know, up in the top left area of the map, there's kind of like those gardens where there's some stuff falling over. I've been drifting around that, and I love it. Right, I'm not brilliant at it, but there's an obelisk there, and you can drift around the track. And then what I'm trying to do is drift around the obelisk and then carry on around the track, and I'm really enjoying that. But yeah, it's still not good. What I can do is I can maintain a drift in order to be able to get the points that I need on some of the drift zones. I've not done them all, but I've got 3 stars on a few. But it doesn't feel good. It just feels like I'm drifting left and right, trying to stay in the road. It don't look good, it don't feel good. What I'm doing, which I prefer, is I'm just driving around and drifting around the corner and then lining myself up with the road like you would do in real life. That feels good. Doing a U-turn feels good. What I can't do yet is I can't just keep going round and round and round. I just can't do it. After a while, I either spin out or I usually lose my drift, to be honest. But I just can't do that yet. I've probably managed a full circle maybe just a couple of times. And I'm also kind of getting the figure of 8s a little bit better, but I'm still not that good on that either. I still need to do some work on it. But I am enjoying it, but I've not had much practice because I haven't been on Forza that much over the past couple of weeks, mostly because of the renovations, but also, of course, because I've been on Fallout 76 as well as Forza. But it's getting there slowly. Just a tip for those who can't glitch. Right, for those people that are having trouble doing the thing that I show you how to do on Fallout 4, read this comment. I did comment on it saying, yeah, I mean, I've got big hands, so the way I do it really works well for me. But if you've got smaller hands than I have, then I think that the way that I do it might be difficult, but the way this guy describes is good alternative. I find this a little bit fumbling, it's a bit slower, and the way I do it is the way I naturally hold the controller anyway. I just slide my thumb across. So if you can do it my way, once you get the hang of it, it's much easier. But if you can't, then yeah, do it this way. For the people that are doing this, though, if you're then crafting Molotov cocktails to level up, craft them slowly. If you craft them fast, the level up doesn't work. It keeps saying level up, but it stays on the same number. So you're thumping the button really quickly. Don't do that. Do it quite slowly, and you'll actually level up much faster. So here we have another blueprint. This guy's done a few blueprints, and they're all very good, so please do check them out. Actually, Marvin, right? When I'm doing a race, if your driver tar is in the race, I might have mentioned this on my blueprint, you always win by miles. Like, I mean, not every time, but most of the time when I am racing, you are way ahead, like a minute ahead of everybody else. It's normally you, then a minute later than me, and then about 20 seconds later, everybody else. Like, if I'm doing well, that's what happens. It's so rare that I beat your driver tar. Are you a really fucking awesome driver and your driver tar has just picked up your skills? It's unbelievable, but really often you are way out in front compared to other people. Oh, I can't thumbs it up, can I? Because it's one of the blueprint things. Just a note to say that I've been enjoying your videos. I've added you as a friend so I can play your blueprints. Nismo Racer. So someone who... Nismo. I always think of Gizmo when I say Nismo. Thank you very much. I am glad that you enjoy them. I applaud your attitude. Right, let's have a look at this. Jesus, that's a long comment. I did look at this comment, and I did click on this. Right, this is a link to a video from a guy called Oxhorn. Now, Oxhorn is a guy that really knows Fallout like nobody else, and I've watched a few of Oxhorn's videos from a long time ago, some of his building videos and his variations on building the settlement and stuff like that, but I hadn't watched any of his new stuff. But I did watch a video where he's talking about Fallout 4 lore. The guy's incredible. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of his videos, but I am subscribed to him on one of my other channels, simply for the building from Fallout 4 from a long time ago. But yeah, if you want to get into Fallout, this guy here, his channel, his name is Oxhorn. I'll just click on it. So it's this guy. I'm going to pause the video. All of the adverts that I get on YouTube are in Spanish. How can I move this over? Maybe if I do that. Ooh, there he is, look. This guy, Oxhorn. I don't think anyone knows more about Fallout than him. Bethesda needs to get this guy on their team and get him to help with their development of games. The guy is a genius, he really is. And he genuinely knows Fallout better than anybody. Right, that's the wrong one, this one. So yeah, I did read this comment, and you said here about a dog didn't teleport, but it was a deer that was rubber banding. Either way, it shouldn't have happened. I mean, rubber banding does happen. You're saying it's not right. It just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. I mean, the game has got problems, but I'm happy to overlook those problems. And I absolutely think that they're going to iron out most of these bugs as we move forward. So I'm not that worried about them. But on the other hand, I absolutely think that they shouldn't have brought out a game that wasn't ready. They should have said, this is early access. You can get in for free or a heavy discount, like $20. It's still not ready. It still isn't at the point where they should have released it. And it's like, this is one of the best gaming studios in the world, right? We can't get away from that. I mean, what they've done is wrong. And they've very, very, I mean, the backlash on it is unbelievable. Now, what angers me more than anything else is the thing that they've done with that bag. It's just shockingly bad. If you don't know about this, then please do search for Canvas Bag Bethesda and you'll see what I mean. It's just absolutely outrageous. The way they've treated their fans is shockingly poor. I am disgusted by them. I really am. But yeah, I've got my money's worth out of the game. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to continue playing it. But I have been scarred. I will never, ever pre-order another Bethesda game, ever. It just won't happen. And I will always pre-order anything made by Rockstar, because what they've done with Red Dead Redemption 2 is absolutely incredible. They have gained my trust. Bethesda have lost my trust. But having said that, I'm going to stick with it. I'm enjoying playing it. I expect it to get better. I expect there to be patches and update and fixes and things like this and stuff changed. But those patches and updates shouldn't be coming after the official release. I just think they wanted to release it to get in time for Black Friday. I really do. I think it was rushed and chucked out early in time for Black Friday and the holiday season, because they know that they're going to get a hell of a lot more sales if they release it now than they would do if they put it back until it's actually ready. Now, I said earlier, Red Dead Redemption was put back a ridiculously long time. They missed out on a year's worth of sales by pushing their game backwards and backwards and backwards. But now that they have released it, and it's really amazing, you know, look what they've done. They have secured themselves as a company that really provides quality. And that's the way you should work. You shouldn't be trying to get a quick buck, releasing something that's not ready, stuffing it full of microtransactions, promising people stuff that they simply did not deliver on over and over and over again, and, you know, giving something that is broken is just wrong. There is, you know, I mean, I was making a video yesterday on the Xbox, but the video got too long and I didn't realise that it stopped recording. But this is what happened, okay? I had one of the workshops. It was a farm and I was defending it from these little robots. And I'd killed almost all of them. I was on the final wave and there was one robot left to kill. But the game had a bug. The robot was invisible and I couldn't see it anywhere apart from on my little indicator at the bottom of the screen. So I knew roughly what direction it was and I knew how far away it was. And I had no idea if I was causing it any damage at all. So what I was doing is waiting until it was right in front of me quite close and then trying to shoot it a lot. But I didn't know if I was causing it damage. Now, as soon as it got close to me, like on the indicator at the bottom, as soon as it got to where I was, I died instantly. It's like the moment it touched me, I died. Now, obviously you respawn and you go and do it again and again and again. I died loads of times trying to kill this invisible robot that I had no idea if I was damaging at all, right? Then someone come along and they started shooting at it, and obviously they could see it, but I couldn't, and they killed it, and that completed the quest for me. Now, if that other player didn't come along, I wouldn't have been able to complete that quest. As soon as the robot touched me, I died. And I had been shooting and shooting and shooting, and I was a lot higher level than the guy that come along and killed it. It was like a level 4. I mean, I'm only level 10 or 11, but I was obviously causing more damage. And this... I don't think my damage was registering. I shot at where it should be loads of times, and then it hit me. I died straight away. This level 4 character comes along. He could blatantly see it. You could tell by the way that he was, by the way he was playing. You could tell he could see it, and fortunately for me, he killed it. Now, that shouldn't happen. Now, I've seen other people talking on YouTube about a quest that they've got, where part of the quest requires that you speak to a person, but the person doesn't respond, so you can't continue the quest. It's just completely broken. That shouldn't happen. It's like the game simply isn't ready for release. So they really should have held back on it, and because they didn't, and because their attitude about it is absolutely fucking horrific. It's like that attitude on that bag is disgusting, really disgusting. Because of those things, their reputation has been shot to pieces, and they absolutely deserve it. They really do deserve it. So I kind of hope that they fix this. I hope that the people responsible just get fired and they replace it with people that are able to carry this franchise forward, because it's got a lot of very loyal fans. Fallout's been around for a long time, and a lot of people love it and look forward to it. They bought into the lore of it. I mean, this Oxhorn guy, more than anybody. I mean, if they destroy Fallout through doing shit like they're doing now, without, you know, thinking about the fans, it's just devastating to those people that have dedicated a phenomenal number of hours of their life to this game. It is. There are so many people on YouTube that are genuinely really upset about what's happening, simply because they just tried to make money. They brought something out that wasn't ready too early, stuffed it full of micro... I mean, they got the microtransaction shop ready, didn't they? That's not a problem. If you want to buy something, if you want to buy some paint for your power armor for $20, I'm sure that will go fine. But, you know, if you want to actually use your power armor in game, when you get out of it, sometimes the game just fucks up and you can't do anything. So they managed to sort out some areas of the game, like buying stuff, but not other areas of the game, like using the stuff. It's appalling. But I do think it will get better. I am enjoying it regardless of its problems, but I think their attitude about this is absolutely unacceptable. I really, really do. And mostly because of the thing that's going on with the bag. That is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Blueprints. Henpecked herb. How's the non-sea? Okay, another blueprint. Oh, still showing more. I'm not going to do many more because I've been doing this for a while and I've got things to do. I'll let this one load up and have a look. Ah, miserable old git. I broke my elbow when I was 11. I fell off my BMX roughly 6 foot in the air, and now my left arm doesn't straighten. Mine does. I dislocated my elbow when I was about 11, and I had to have physiotherapy for it. And I couldn't straighten my arm for a long time. And when you're having physio, it's so fucking painful. I was like, I don't mind. I am happy to not be able to straighten my arm. I don't need to. You know, that's fine. So I was really reluctant to do the physio, but I persevered with it, and now, I mean, my arms not only go straight, they actually go a little bit past straight. So they go a bit too far. But the elbow's not too bad. There are certain things that I do where after a while it really starts to ache. The ribs are a pain in the arse all the time. Last night in bed, my wife just had her arm resting on my chest, but if it's in the wrong place, it's painful. They hurt. It's just really... Broken ribs are so fucking annoying. They really are. What's this? The Blueprint Forum. I'm glad you like the idea. Thank you very much. So this is Robert, Miserable Old Git, another regular. I'll be having a look. If you're in the club, if you are, I'll be promoting you because you are amongst my favourite YouTube commenters. So all you guys are obviously going to be promoted in the club if you're in it. If you're not in it because you're in another one, obviously I completely understand that. So I hope that you are putting blueprints in. and I will be putting more Blueprint videos up. I'm going to be doing one of these per week, as I said so. I don't really know what's going on. Oh, this. Right, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is some sort of scammy thing, but I'm going to remove your comment. Oh, hang on, hang on. I like it very much and will continue to buy Forza credit. Now, what I'm going to do first of all is look at your channel. Which one was it? Right, it's not that one. Oh, it's this one. Right, you've got no subscribers, no content. All you're doing is spamming my comments with your thing. So you are going to be hidden from my channel, so you cannot comment again. Unlimited caps glitch. Oh my god, finally. I mean, this is for Fallout 4. It enables you to get unlimited money. Hey, I'm glad you liked it. Loving your videos, mate. I'm going to join your club. Yes. I shall see you in the club. Oh, Blueprint. So I'll move on from that. Blueprint, again. Your like character looks great. A lot better than mine. She does look good, doesn't she? I quite like her. Actually, starting over... Where's my other one? I'll show you my character. Right. Let me think. Let me think. I'll open that one. You can see what you think about my character. See what you think about what she looks like. I like her. I spent a lot of time making her. Oh, this is bloody comments on this, isn't it? How do I get to the actual video? I have no idea. Jesus Christ. I'm useless. Let's go back to where I was. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Hello, Oxhorn. Yeah, check him out if you're into it. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Right, okay, now we're back to where we should be. So how do I just look at this video without going to the comments of this video? No, that's comments. Videos, videos, videos. Oh. Videos. Right, here's some videos. Just saw someone's left a new comment there talking about the dog meat duplication glitch. That's not worked for ages. Right, starting over. I think it's this one. Sorry if you're not interested in this at all. This is just the price you pay when you subscribe to my stuff.
Hello there, guys. As you
Hello.
can see, I am
Hello there, guys. Alright, let's have a look. That's the wrong fucking video. Really? How was that the wrong one? Might be this one. Let's have a look at this one. Right then, here we go. I bet it goes, hello there, guys. Oh god, it's some advert in probably in Spanish. Right, I'll go. See. That's the annoying thing about living in a different country. All your adverts. Bye bye. Oh look, in exactly the right place. This is my This is the character that I made. Look. I'll shut myself up. I'll mute myself. So that's my character. I've actually changed the chin a little bit now because I wasn't very happy with it. But I think she looks quite good. I liked the idea of putting all that muck on her face, but I also like the idea of being able to remove it. I also like her hair, but I also like the idea of moving it. I've changed it now. I've changed to like a sort of like bluey colour. And I've kind of changed the little dip there on the jaw, this bit here. I've taken that out so it's a straighter line. I've given her a slightly bigger chin and I've slightly changed her mouth. But yeah, I spend ages making characters. But I like this one. Let's zoom in. There we go. That's my that's Katumi in Fallout 76. She looks good, doesn't she? I like her. Oop. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the body. Anyway, that's enough of that video. Right, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh my god, have I closed the wrong one?
comments.
Oh look, here's the phone that I've bought. I really like it. This is it. The Honor 8X. It's very nice. But I haven't got it yet. I'm waiting for it to be delivered. Is there a picture of the front of it? Yeah, there we go. I've never done Android before, and every time I use my my wife's phone, she's on Android. I'm just always completing a fucking nightmare. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm gonna obviously adapt, so I'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I really like it. I don't like it like this though. You can put this thing in here to hide this little notched thing, but I prefer it. I prefer it like that, showing this. I think that looks good. But yeah, it hasn't arrived, but it looks like a really nice phone. I've got the black one. It's available in blue, black, or red. But yeah, I couldn't justify spending £1,000 on a new iPhone. I just really rarely use it. This one's about £250, so you could get 4 of these. But yeah, it looked good. Right, okay then, where was I on this? So, comments. Oh yeah, I was searching for this guy because I thought this was the guy that says, oh, you copied someone's video. But I thought, I recognised his name and I thought, you've commented before saying something like that. So I did search for him, but he hadn't. So let's try and get back to my comments. Right, a couple of this has appeared while I've been doing this. The dog meat thing doesn't work anymore, no. But the conveyor belt, this is how I found the conveyor belt glitch, right? There was a glitch where you put something on the floor and you say to your dog, go and get that. And when your dog's about to pick it up, if you pick it up at the same time, you get 2 of them. But it's really kind of awkward to do, and it's really slow. You have to keep sending the dog away, you're dropping something and stuff like this. So this is something I used to do a long time ago, but I found it quite difficult. So when they brought out the ability to create stuff, they brought out something called Contraptions and Workshop, and you have all these conveyor belts and things, and the stuff goes into the conveyor belt, and then as it's going in, it disappears and it appears in the storage of the conveyor belt. And I was thinking, well, that's just exactly the same as like when the dog picks something up. So I tried to grab the stuff as it went into the conveyor belt, and it did the same. The duplication was exactly the same as this. The thing with the dog. Dog meat is the dog's name, for those people who don't play Fallout. So I discovered that glitch. Other people discovered it as well, but I didn't find other people's and then copy it, so Lone Ranger, in case you're watching, that's another glitch that I found. Now, I never uploaded a video on dog meat, I never uploaded a video on getting the cryogen gun, or anything like that, but other people did, and I saw them, but I didn't copy them. I uploaded videos on stuff that I discovered, or someone else talked about it or suggested it to me, and then I upload a video saying, this person had this idea. Why don't you go and do it? Here's a link to their channel. That's what I do. I don't steal other people's stuff. It really pisses me off when people just say that, because it's just something I genuinely don't do. So yeah, after the dog meat thing, I discovered that you could do the same thing with a conveyor belt, so I started doing that. So I was stood there at a conveyor belt, putting stuff on, turning around, picking it up. It's hard to do, but it works. And then I made like a loop of a conveyor belt, which was also my idea. I didn't see anyone else doing that. I have no idea if other people put videos on it or not, but that was also my idea. And then I stood there at my conveyor belt with this stuff going round in a big square, just stood there picking it up as it went in, and I was duplicating the Your Special books doing this. Now when I did this, which is what this video is about, it enabled you to improve your stats, so you could get up to max stats. Then someone said, did you know that if you penalise your character first by drinking alcohol and whatever else... no, it wasn't drinking alcohol. It was put it in survival mode and then just don't rest for about 5 days and your character gets penalised. So your stats go down. Then you can, with more special books, you can get your stats back up to max. So when you sleep, it removes that penalty, and you end up above max. So I then made some videos showing this. But when I made those videos, I said, this guy gave me this idea. This is where it come from. So I'll always credit people if they give me an idea for a video. And I don't go around YouTube looking for other stuff and then copying it. Someone else also said once, it's really cute the way that you copy successful YouTubers' thumbnails. So no, I didn't. I didn't even look at other people's thumbnails. On Forza, they were saying it on a Forza video. I went on Google and put Forza Horizon 4 image search and just chose an image of Forza Horizon 4. Then I put text over the top and I chose colours that contrasted nicely with the background. I'm a graphic designer. Well, I'm not anymore, but I actually studied graphic design at college. That's what I did at university. I know what looks good and what doesn't. Yellow and white looks good on this thing. That's why I did it. And it's kind of become a thing for my videos now. So I'm also doing it on my Fallout ones, as you can see. So I do some text in yellow, some text in white. When I first started, I was picking out the odd word in yellow, but now I tend to do a band of yellow and a band of white. And I didn't look at anyone else and copy them. And when you said to me, well, I'm not going to say you, 'cause you're probably not watching this video, but when this person said to me, it's so cute how you do this to try and copy other people so that you can get more views, I'm not interested in any of that stuff at all. I make videos on what I enjoy making videos on. I'm not doing it just to, you know, get as many views as possible. If I was trying to get as many views as possible, I would just put every exploit on every game I could find on YouTube, copy it and make a video on it. That's what I'd do. And just to try and get views. I would have clickbait names that try and get, you know, stuff on there. I wouldn't go off on tangents for ages. My videos wouldn't be hours long. No, they would be edited. And I'd be doing what all of those YouTubers are doing that have millions of followers. It's just not my thing. I do what I enjoy. I've got like a little family of followers that is growing. I'm on almost 10,000. And this is what I like. So it just, all those people just piss me off. They're just fucking idiots. They really are. It's like, oh, it's so cute that you've copied this. It's like, fuck off and do one. It's like, if people want to leave comments like that, I'm just going to ban them from my channel, because it's like, more than one person can find something. More than one person can have the same idea. More than one person can come up with a similar looking thumbnail for a video that's about the same game. Obviously it's going to look similar. So sorry, rant over, but that kind of stuff just does my head in. It really does. Right, what time is it? It's 11 minutes past 10. What time did I start this? I have no idea. All right, scroll down. I'll just have a look at what I'm going to do. Is when I get down to where I was, I'm gonna just do them to the next where it stops. So that's what I'm going to do. So none of these got thumbs up. So I'm going to do this page down to here, then I'll stop. And it's only going back 2 days. Normally go back a week. There must have been more to get through. Blueprint. Blueprint. Oh yeah, this is why I showed you my character. It does look good. I like her. She's cool. And I like your speech. Because for me, as a non-English native, my school... I used to speak really, really quickly, and a lot more with an accent and more slang than I do now. I am a hypnotist, and I also do seminars and lectures and stuff sometimes, but because of that, I made myself speak a lot slower, and I made myself pronounce things more correctly. So my speech is different to what it used to be. One of the exercises that I teach people when I'm training people to become hypnotists, in order to be able to get your voice lower, you start off by touching your nose, and then you speak as though you're speaking through your nose. So you say, this is my nose, as you touch your nose, and you speak in a very nasal way. Now, a lot of people speak like that naturally. Then you touch your throat, and you say, this is my throat, and you speak from your throat, and you can see there's a resonance to it. Then you touch your chest, and you say, this is my chest, and you speak from your chest. Then your belly, and you say, this is my belly, and you speak from your belly. And when you speak from your belly, it's warmer. It's kind of like this warm brown BBC kind of voice, and it's a lot deeper, and it's slower as well, because you're taking in deep breaths. So if you want to speak like a hypnotist, then just imagine your voice going down through your body. Move your voice all the way into your belly, and when you speak from your belly, you tend to speak a lot more slowly, and you leave long pauses between your words. So that's kind of like my hypnotic voice. It's weird, really, because there's a lot of people that I've hypnotized before, and then they would go to one of my hypnosis stage shows, and while I'm on stage doing the induction, just using that voice actually causes them to start feeling themselves going into trance, because they've got such a strong association with it from being one of my clients in the past. Well, I say one of my clients, more than likely one of my friends that I've been fucking around with hypnosis with. So there you go. If you're not happy with your voice, I never used to be happy with mine. I used to listen to my own recordings, and I had a very nasal voice. I didn't like it. Also, I have a very slight lisp. When I say the word lisp, you can hear it. And the reason being, I got my teeth all knocked out by a skateboard when I was I was about 20. I was on my skate. It wasn't someone else hitting me. I did it myself. I was on my skateboard and I did a 180 flip, and I landed. As I landed, my face went down, but I landed behind the board with my front foot on the tail hard, so it sprung the board upwards, and the nose of the board just hit all of my teeth across the front. And across the front of my teeth, all of them were pointing directly backwards into my mouth, and you could see the bottom of my teeth. And I ripped all the gums, and I went to the hospital, and I said to the nurse, I said, I think I could push them back in, and so I kind of it was kind of like 4 teeth across the front, and I kind of grabbed them as one group and pushed them up into the hole. When I did that, it started bleeding like crazy, but they went back into the right place. And over the following couple of weeks, my gums kind of regrew and it healed, apart from one tooth. This one of my front teeth, from that day, that tooth died, and since then I had like a root canal filling and stuff, and that tooth now has gone slightly brown compared to the others because it's completely dead. But that tooth now, it's at a slight angle and it slightly overlaps the tooth that's next to it, and that's what causes the little lisp noise. Like this, that's what's the cause of it is. So I never used to have that, so it really annoyed me when I did it. But the day that happened, the next day I went to Phoenix Festival. So I was at Phoenix Festival for 4 days. I hadn't taken any toothbrush or toothpaste or anything. I was just a smelly mess. Right? I didn't even think about stuff like that. And the only way that we actually, I'd only got one set of clothes. My mates went, "You want to go to Phoenix?" I was like, "Yeah," I just jumped in the car and went. And actually, the way we paid for it is so fucking out of order. I really shouldn't tell you this. At the time, my girlfriend at the time, she was the manager of a nightclub, but the owner of the nightclub used to just go off all the time and leave her in charge. So what a couple of my friends did, which is wrong and illegal, and I shouldn't tell you, we turned over the cigarette machine, and loads of cigarettes fell out of it and some money. And we took the cigarettes and we paid for Phoenix Festival tickets with the money, which is really out of order. It was so wrong. I wouldn't do anything like that now, but that's a long time ago. It was 1994. The Orb were playing at Phoenix Festival. It was absolutely amazing. But I'd gone there with just like a set of clothes and no preparation or anything. But they had a bouncy castle at the festival that they had like soapy water on it, and they had a hose pipe and they used to hose it all down everything so it was soaking wet. So what I did every day in the only clothes that I had, so I went on this bouncy castle, and all the soapy water, it's kind of like being in a washing machine, and it completely cleaned all of my clothes and myself, so that I didn't stink while I was at the festival. So I was mostly walking around completely wet, but it was a bloody glorious summer's, every day was beautiful and sunny, it didn't rain. So my clothes dried off nice and quickly, so thank goodness that's what I did. But the reason I brought up Phoenix is because I'd gone there the day after I smashed my teeth out, and this one tooth that never reset properly, while I was at Phoenix Festival, it was so damaged, that tooth it was just wiggling around in my mouth, and I could spin it all the way round. You know when you're a little kid and your milk teeth are coming out and you can turn them around and there's just like one bit of gum still connected to it, and then you kind of like just tug it and then it bleeds. It was like that, right? And I said so many times to my friends, just pull it out, and they're all like, no, leave it. And I spent most of my time just playing with that tooth, like flipping it in and out the hole with my tongue. And it was still attached by some bits of gum, but it was just a hole. And most of the time, as I say, I could spin it all the way around. I could flip it in and out. The ice cream van's here. Can you hear it? With donkey flavoured ice cream. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I used to flip that tooth in and out all the time. But thankfully, I shoved it back in the hole and it did reset into the hole. So I still have that tooth, but the tooth is dead. And that's just ridiculous, isn't it? At the time, I didn't have a dentist, so I went to a private dentist, and he did a temporary root canal filling. And I didn't go back to the dentist, so I just thought, oh, that's enough. And I had that temporary root canal filling for about 10 years. And then another dentist was like, he was talking about it, and he put a more permanent filling in it, but it was like for a really long time. So now I have a proper root canal filling in that tooth. The tooth is dead, but I don't clean my teeth, okay? I haven't put a toothbrush in my mouth for probably about 2 years. But what I do is I do oil pulling, which if you don't know what that is, look for it on YouTube. I use raw virgin coconut oil. I put about a teaspoon of it in my mouth, and while I'm having a shower, I swill my mouth out with this coconut oil. And what it does, it absorbs all the bacteria from your mouth. If you spit it out into a cup and leave it for a day, it stinks of bad breath. Really bad. It's disgusting. Now, that's all the bacteria and shit that was in your mouth, so it shows that it comes out. But I've been doing that for about 2 years, and I don't ever put a toothbrush in my mouth or clean my teeth at all. But if I forget my coconut and I go on holiday or something, I'll use normal toothpaste and toothbrush. So I have cleaned my teeth. I cleaned them in Mexico when I went away in April, I think. I don't know, sometime this year. And I've been Mexico twice this year as it goes. But the weird thing is, when I go away on holiday and I forget my coconut and I use my wife's toothpaste, when I do that, I still clean my teeth twice a day. I clean them in the morning, clean them in the evening. With the coconut, I just do it once a day. Sometimes I do it once every other day, so I don't do it every single day. But if I use a toothbrush and toothpaste, I have morning breath. In the morning, my breath smells bad, and also my mouth feels bad. And also, sometimes I get toothache. If I'm on holiday, sometimes I get toothache and my gums ache and stuff. But when I'm at home and I use the coconut, I don't get any of that. My breath never ever smells. I never have morning breath. I never have that gammy taste in the morning, ever. It just doesn't happen. I never get toothache. And since I've been doing this, that tooth that was going brown because it's dead, that's been going back to white. So now it's not completely white. Well, neither are any of my other teeth, but it's close shade to my other teeth now. And I was actually talking to my parents on video chat, and they said to me, have you had your teeth whitened? And I was like, no. And they said, your teeth look much whiter, and the one that's damaged, it looks like you've had it fixed. And I was like, no, it's just the coconut. So that's happening from the coconut. So, I mean, I really strongly recommend that people do this. I really, really do. I mean, most toothpaste has got fluoride in it as well. So I used to use fluoride-free toothpaste years ago. So I've not used fluoride for a really long time. And the water doesn't have fluoride here in Colombia either, which is bloody awesome. So I'm not getting that fluoride into my system at all. But, yeah, doing the coconut, my teeth have become whiter. If I ever have a problem with toothache, bad gums or anything, it's only because I've stopped using the coconut. If I stop using the coconut because I've gone on holiday and I'm using toothpaste, I'll get toothache. As soon as I go back to the coconut, it goes. It's unbelievable. I think it's just so awesome. And I mean, I've recommended it to quite a few of my friends. My friend Steve, the guy with the Capri who I talk about a lot, I recommended it to him. And I was actually camping with him at the time. So I gave him some of mine so he could try it. His immediate reaction says, oh, it tastes like someone's come in my mouth. And then his girlfriend went, what? How do you know what that tastes like? He goes, well, I imagine that's what it tastes like. Now, when I do it, I put the stuff in, I mean, it's not pleasant in your mouth, but I put it in my mouth and I just immediately chew it and chew it and chew it until it's all liquid, and then just swill it about. Sometimes I just leave it in my mouth for a while. Sometimes I swish it about my teeth, but I just do it while I'm having a shower. And yeah, that's the way I clean my teeth, and I've been doing it for a couple of years, and I really strongly recommend it to anybody else. There's a lot of people who say it's a scam, it doesn't work, blah 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 blah. Right, you can all fuck off, because it does work. It absolutely works. It's making my teeth whiter. The thing that's most noticeable is morning breath. Right, I've not had bad breath since I've been doing this, right? Even coffee breath, I don't even get that. It's like, it just doesn't happen. That gammy mouth feeling doesn't happen, right? It stops all of that, right? Even without making your teeth whiter or stopping toothache and all that, the bad breath thing is enough. Because when I used to use toothpaste, I used to use toothpaste in the morning, at night, and mouthwash, and I'd wake up, my breath would stink. And I'd be like, why the fuck does my breath stink in the morning when the last thing I did at night was use bloody Listerine and toothpaste to clean my teeth? Like, coconut is way better, way better. It's quite expensive though. It's really fucking expensive here. That's one of the things that are very expensive in Colombia. So there we go. Nice tangent there. I've never been to Germany. My friend John, who I talk about quite a bit, he goes to Germany really often, and I hypnotised him to improve his German. And it had really quite a good effect. So, I mean, I'd like to go over to Germany. I really would do. It is one of those places that really appeal to me. I've been to Austria a few times, but only snowboarding. And well, let's make sure you've not got a blueprint, because it's the blueprint video. So it's the same person. So thank you very much, and good to have you with us. So that's a blueprint. Blueprint. Elder Scrolls Online is amazing in its current state. At launch, it had the habit of deleting your account. Oh my god, how fucking annoying would that be? It had the habit of deleting your account or giving you access to other people's bank accounts. It's been out for a few years. Let's hope that Fallout 76 survives long enough to get as good as Elder Scrolls Online. I have my doubts though, because Elder Scrolls Online has a subscription model. That's a really valid point. If you are playing a subscription to pay the game, they are continually getting money. I mean, Fallout 76 has microtransactions, but you certainly don't need to buy them. They're all cosmetic things. So, as a way of supporting the game's future, that isn't a very good way of doing that, but a subscription is. But, I mean, I wouldn't like to have to pay a subscription to play a game. I mean, I used to. What games did I used to play? I used to play Guild Wars a lot. I had a guild in Guild Wars. I was the guild leader. If anyone used to play Guild Wars, my character was called Piggyback Driver. And I also had a character called Shiver Peak Taxi. And I used to do the Drochna's Forge run. So there was an area, a low area in the game, where you could run people to a high area in the game to get the best armour. And I absolutely loved that. That was my favourite part of that game. So who knows? Someone listening to this might remember me from Guild Wars. If you do, that would be fucking amazing. So hello. But yeah, I played that game so much. And I was, as I say, I was the leader of a guild. And my favourite part of the game was running that run. If anyone has done this, it was bloody awesome. Right, I liked the game. I played all the way through the game. I completed it. I did all the missions and the dungeon things and everything. I loved the game. But by far my favourite thing was something that was never intended. And you get a little party of people, and then I run my character through one of the most difficult areas of the game with the highest level monsters. And when I get to the town that I'm heading to, all my party appear at that town, and then they can buy the best armour in the game. So that was the idea of doing it. But there were kind of like a little bit of a community of people that could do this run. Not everyone could do it. It was very difficult. So we competed with each other, and we would try and get the fastest time of doing the run. Now, I wish that what Guild Wars would do back then, I mean, this is a long time ago, I wish that they would have had a leaderboard of people who did that run, because it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, if you are a gamer that used to play Guild Wars, maybe you were in my guild. So there you go. Wouldn't that be amazing if some of my regular subscribers on my YouTube channel actually were in my guild in Guild Wars all those years ago? That'd be epic. I'd love that. So I've looked for some of you, well, some of you guys. I've looked for some of the guys from Guild Wars. Like, there were some people who always chose the same name for their character. So I've actually looked for some of them in other games. I do miss them, actually. It was a proper little family. It really was. And there was a guy called Simon who was in my guild. He actually lived in Birmingham, which was only like 20 miles away from where I lived. So we actually met each other. And we did Christmas shopping together, it was kind of awesome. That was the first time I'd met a person who was someone I only knew from playing an online game. But Guild Wars was my first experience of playing a multiplayer online game, and I absolutely loved it. I really did. I wasn't so keen on Guild Wars 2, and I also wasn't so keen on the updates like factions, and I can't remember what the other one was, but the original version of Guild Wars was just brilliant. And there was an area of the game at the beginning that you would play on, and I stayed there for a really long time. I'd got my guild there and everything, and then we kind of went through into the main game, and it was like such a big thing when we did that. And then there was also a place in the game, Lion's Arch, and it was so epic to turn up there. It was like one of those moments in games that stay with you forever, and it's what makes gaming special. Now, whenever I see a Lion's Gate film now, all I think about is Guild Wars and Lion's Arch. Whenever there's a Lionsgate film, it always reminds me of the very first time I turned up there. And there were things you could do in Lion's Arch that you couldn't do anywhere else. So it was a very important place to get to on the game. Oh, it's brilliant. I absolutely loved that. Really did. And the community of people, it's a little bit like you guys. You guys are a community of people that if I stop doing this and don't see any of you guys, I'd miss you guys. But, I mean, with Guild Wars, obviously that was... I mean, it was on a PC, it was online, so there was a lot of chat, and everyone had their own personalities. I actually built a website for my guild. We were called the Order of Melchizedek. That was the name of my guild. Melchizedek comes from a guy called Drumvalo Melchizedek, who is someone who teaches a meditation called the Flower of Lies and the Macabre meditation, which at the time is something I was very, very heavily involved with. I still am now, but at the time is when I was actually doing that meditation, which it enables you to create a light body vehicle, which is what a macabre is, which enables you to travel between dimensions. So I'm not really going to get into all that stuff on this channel, but that's where the name came from. So we were called the Order of Melchizedek, a guild on Guild Wars. My character was Piggyback Driver, and then a bit later Shiver Peak Taxi. And because the area of the game where I used to kind of taxi people through was called the Shiver Peaks, which is why I chose that name. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that, and I have considered going back to it, but obviously it's not the same as it was. So it's changed a lot, but yeah, it was really, really awesome. Just doing the Drockness Forge run. If any of you guys know what I'm talking about here, and you did that run, please leave a message in the comments and let me know, because that was probably one of my favourite points of my gaming experience. Really was, really epic. Joined your club. Still no joy finding your blueprints though, despite following you on Xbox. So try a couple of the ideas that I've seen from comments in this video and see if they work for you. If you want to get a method of money quickly, okay, this here happens all the time, and normally it happens and then it has like 15 likes straight away. They've done it here as well, look. So the people that do this instantly get this happen to them. I wonder if that one will disappear. No, it didn't. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think this is spam. I'm more than happy for people to promote things on my channel, as long as they're not like spammy bullshit. And I've seen that a lot, and it always gets lots of likes on it as well, so they just get straight away removed. Thank you very much, Richie. Glad you enjoy the videos. Great video as always. Love the blueprint idea. Thank you, Simon. Another regular here, Jaded Fett. I'm shit at pronouncing things, but I assume that's Jaded Fett. And yeah, I've looked at your channel actually, and you've got some like Boba Fett type stuff on there. So obviously that's what it is. So let's take a little peek. So look, it's a Star Wars channel, so you're a Star Wars fan. So the Jaded Fett obviously is from Boba Fett. And you've got, this was a little, I've watched a few of your videos, some of them are a little bit ridiculous. So, oh, your videos are all GTA. I thought you got more videos than that, but obviously Star Wars. Did I say Star Trek? It's Star Wars, isn't it? I'm not a Trekkie, and I'm not a Star Wars person either. So I apologise to those people that are. But yeah, regular. You look a lot like one of my friends, actually, which is what originally made me look at your video. I wanted to see if you'd got something with you talking, because you looked really like one of my friends. So, last comment. Oh, it's a fucking blueprint. There we go. I'll go a couple more. This takes a while for this bit to happen. So blueprint. Oh look, we've just got around to this one, which I mentioned right from the start. So I'm going to tell stories, so time to settle in. My stories are hilarious. Definitely join the club. Thank you so much, JK Gaming. I'm going to whiz through these quite quickly. Love that story about how you met your wife. Yeah, that was that picture. I half told it again on this video. So yeah, the picture that I showed you from my other channel, only because I'd fallen off my bike. You know, I've thought about this quite a lot, you know. That old couple, did they know? I mean, did that old couple exist? Was it, you know, were these like guardian angels that were sent down to change the course of my life so that I'd end up living in Colombia and getting married? So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I should, let me, right, give me one sec. Jumping into my Facebook, and I will show you my wife. So, how do I get to my photos and stuff? Oh look, this is from 1 year ago. So this was my wedding video. Oh my god. So this is I'll show you it. Can I? Right, prepare. I'll close this video by showing you the day I got married. Probably a little bit more personal than you expected. Is it going to go big or anything? Oh, there we go. I don't want to make it really big. What's that going to do? Oh, I can do this, can't I? Ooh. It's probably not even going to load. I didn't get married on the 25th of November. It just took a long time to get the video. So if this works, if it works, I actually speak some Spanish in this as well, so prepare yourself. It's not going to bloody work, is it? Let's have a look at my internet connection. Oh, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi I should be connected to. Right, while I'm waiting to see if that works, if it... Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. No, I didn't mean to do this at all. I get so confused on Facebook, I really do. Right. Ah, here we go. Right, I'm going to close this video by sharing a personal video of when I got married. Let's pause it. Do I have to make... Oh, sound has been muted. Oh, it's really shit quality. Here you go.
Estoy muy feliz de estar aquí en Colombia con mi familia nueva, especialmente con mi princesa favorita. Amo con todo mi corazón.
It's a bit loud.
2 years ago, I wrote a specific list of all the things that I wanted in the woman that I was going to marry.
Why won't this go
I
away?
didn't know that 5,000 miles away in Colombia, Carol was writing a letter to her angels, the guy that she wanted to marry. And then lots of crazy things happened, and I saw Carol, and I knew instantly that this was the woman that I was to be with the rest of my life.
It's gonna make me cry. That's my mother-in-law. That's my niece, Gabby. That's my wife. That's her sister. It's my nephew, Santiago. It's my wife's cousin. That's her dad. That's just one of our friends.
You are the sunrise waking my day. You are the moonlight shining my way. This is where I call home. You are the fire warming my night. With you I stay till the morning light. This is where I call home. This is where I call home. Your love is like no other. Your love is where I feel alive. My safety and my shelter.
Look at this. This won't be shown in anyone else's newsfeed unless you share it on your videos on your YouTube channel. It was a very spiritual event. We did like calling in angels and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. This video is terrible quality though, but it was just me chucking it up on Facebook for my family really, for people that didn't get a chance to come here. I haven't got much more hair than that V-Lance guy, have I? I've got less hair than I thought. That's me being an arse. And that is Bogota in the distance. So there we go. Right, let's get back to comments on comments. Oh man, I'm all choked up. So, a couple of people have said, when's there going to be a face reveal? So that's something much more personal. I didn't intend to do that, obviously, and I didn't expect it to be there. I was just going to show you a picture. But, so, I uploaded that video a year ago. So, yeah, we got married on the... Weirdly, we actually became a couple on the let me think, the 5th of the 10th, 2015. So 5/10/15. And then 2 years and 2 days later, on 7/10/17, was that day when we actually got married. So, there you go, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up. So, let's have a quick glance at some of these. Love the story about how you met your wife. No, now you see how I married my wife. Someone joining the club, but they're already in another one. Not sure where to put this. Oh, it's the perks on the Formula Drift cars. We've talked about that a few times before. Good news, weapon dedications can do okay. Microtransactions. This was just stuff about Fallout 76. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Probably a lot longer than I intended it to be. I hope you enjoyed my wedding video for those people that stuck around until the end. And I'll see all you guys soon. I am now going to pop off to the mall. I might do that thing where I said I was going to record with the GoPro on the way there. So I might do it, I might not do it. I haven't fixed my GoPro to my bike yet, and I can't be bothered. So I'm probably just going to go there and drink coffee. So I'll see all you guys soon. You take care, have an awesome day, and bye-bye. Remember to leave comments on my comments on comments, so next time I make a comments on comments video, I can comment about your comments on my comments on comments, as I obviously will do that. Right, see you all soon. Bye-bye.